Bennington Show. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Yo.
And I'm Ron Bennington. And that's a new album that just dropped. Our man.
That's Open Mike Eagle, and the new album is Brick Body Kid Still Daydream. Still Daydream?
He's great, man.
He's awesome. Great. I loved his last album so much, and I'm so excited to be listening to this new one. I listened to the whole thing twice over this morning.
You digging it?
Yeah, it's super good.
Now, he's got a TV show coming on soon.
Yeah, that is coming up soon, but I don't know.
I forget what network it's on. Is it Comedy Central, if I'm not wrong?
Yeah, Comedy Central.
Yeah. What's the name of the show?
The New Negroes.
Well, I'm not going to say that. What's that weird sound?
Is it me? No.
It's from outside. Maybe the door's slightly ajar.
The door is ajar.
Yeah, but it sounds like a siren.
Yeah, it is. It's a siren.
Oh, yeah. That's just our regular siren thing that we do. Wait, are they all paying attention to it? No, they come on and say, don't pay. I don't know why, like, there's not some warning for inside the studio, though. You would think.
They don't want to run
they
the
have
show.
So many studios. Just say, hey, this is a test. It's only a test. Or, this is the real thing. You should have paid attention when we told you where the steps were. Because I never do.
No.
I actually don't know where the stairs are. Do you, Chris?
I went down the stairs once, down a couple of floors. Can't remember where they are.
Oh, great.
Okay, great. So we need one person on the team
for
who
a minute,
does.
I felt like we had an expert on the team.
I feel like it's down that hall directly in front of us.
We don't have time to make mistakes like that, Chris.
We don't have the time to go on your feelings. You're not that Long Island fucking psychic or whatever she's called.
The medium?
Yeah, the Long Island medium. Which I met her. She's an XL.
Remember when she saw me in the hallway?
Yeah.
And she had this weird thing where she like looked at me and she's like, I feel like I know you. And I'm just like, nope. And I just keep walking.
You don't know me.
And
anything my grandma needed to say to me, she already did. So don't worry about it. I don't have any unanswered questions. I know they love me. Okay, see ya.
Don't bother my loved ones.
Tim Dillon does a bit about that. I wish I could just fucking tell you the whole thing right now. Because it works out because Long Island people are all the same. You know what I mean? Billy Joel. But it goes on and on. It's like fucking so funny. It's so goddamn funny. Tim was emceeing at the Stand last night when me and Anthony went on and did our thing. Ant's the natural.
Nice.
He's just the natural.
He's born to do it.
He's just very Ant on stage. Some people try not to be. Although I will say this. We didn't say a word to each other before we walked up. No plan. You know what I mean?
That's good. That's the way to do it.
Oh, good. Two lazy people together. That's always helpful for a show. Chris Stanley, you were Cleveland Indians that you bet on last year.
Yes.
Did you pick the wrong year?
Possibly, because they are 22 win streak right now.
22 straight games, longest in like 100 and some years. 22 straight games. Now, if they were a pro football team, unbelievable. Best year ever. But I'll say this, if they were my team, I'd be nervous because they're due for some losses and October's coming.
Yeah, are they wasting this? Are they wasting this fucking juice?
Yeah.
So you want to streak much later in the season?
Well, you want to streak, you want to be hot in the playoffs.
Right.
Because you have 162 games, right? And that's just a long trudge of a marathon. And then they go, okay, you won the marathon. How about 2 quick streaks? And you just got to run as fast as you can for 7 games over and over. And it's a totally different game. It's a totally different way to play it. I got some great news for everybody. Standing outside our door right now is the incredibly hot, the incredibly exciting Chris Gethard.
Nice.
That's awesome. The Chris Gethard Show airs live Thursdays at 11 p.m. East on True TV, on Twitter at Chris Gethard.
That needs some editing.
It needs an updating.
Yeah, it's True TV.
Yeah, no longer on Fusion.
Good to see you, pal. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Always a pleasure.
You're going like a bat out of hell right now, right? You're just running from one thing to the next.
Oh, yeah, no rest. That's never
good.
been my style.
That's
never been my style.
Well, I would say this. There is not a single pause in your TV show.
No.
We don't take a breath for the whole hour. That's true. That's true.
How many segments do you guys figure is in any one show?
Oh, in a given hour, 10.
Yeah.
10.
I was watching John Oliver last night. He's just spinning his head from one place to the other.
Yeah, we threw a lot at him.
Yeah.
He was, I thought
Literally.
we actually did just shoot things at him. But I thought he was so good.
Oh,
he's awesome.
Yeah, he's always good, man.
Yeah,
you
he's
know.
the best. Such a nice guy, too.
But I always watch these things also from a broadcasting point of view, like how you keep all the plates spinning. And there was my favorite little moment, I'm sure no one else would even go, is you just reached over to make sure Oliver put the flashlight under his face.
I saw
Like,
that.
we're doing a bit, buddy.
Yeah. Well, he was having some trouble finding the bottom. It was one of the ones you got to push the bottom in. He couldn't find the button. I was just trying to help him out. Real smart guy, but in that moment, couldn't find the button.
Hey, he's got so many, like, you know, I laugh because you know what they do to do his show. That show runs, you know, I'm sure it's like a play, it's like an opera, every little moment.
Yeah.
And your show is just buck wild, things are happening, people are calling.
That's what I'm going for.
Yeah.
All chaos all the time.
I know that people probably are hoping for the most chaotic thing to happen, but I realize I'm a sweetheart because I watch. I'm like, I hope this works out.
Yeah.
I hope
That's
that
so
bit pays
nice of
off
you.
the
That's
whole
so nice
time.
of
I'm the opposite.
I know.
I just want, like, the lights to come down. Well, there was, you know, there's this thing about the show. Is like, can you plan fun? Can you plan spontaneity? Because, like, if you have a party, you hope to get there. But when it's a TV show, it has to start,
Yeah.
you know, great.
Well, that's what the traditionalists say, don't they?
Yeah.
That's usually in TV. You want something that you know is going to work and go well and grab them from the start. But I guess I just don't believe in that so much. Like, I don't know. I'd much rather just roll with some punches. I think that that's a little more interesting to do, and hopefully people find it interesting to see. And
Right.
I like a show where right out of the gate things aren't working, and it's pretty clear that the guy who's supposed to be in charge has no sense of how this is going to go.
Right.
But that's all tied into my weird theories on how things need to be less controlled.
Well, I'll just tell you from a traditional TV point of view, try to find any show in history where people sit higher than the host, right?
Yeah.
Johnny always had his desk up higher than, you know, everybody goes that thing like, let's show. But if you're brand new to the show, if you just stumble across it, you got to look around this madhouse to find out who the guy is who's Chris Gethard.
Yeah. And also there's always things happening too. Like last night we had this ping pong cannon that the internet was controlling, and they hit me in the face twice. I got shot in the face twice. And it wasn't pleasant, and that's not a put on.
Right.
But I like it. I like letting them know, like, yep, it's me, my name's on it, and I'm not in control, so you can trust no one is. Like, if I'm not in control, there's nobody steering this ship.
Sure.
So that's the signals I'm trying to send these people.
Everyone else on TV is trying to avoid Reddit at all costs. Like, it doesn't exist. Don't bring them up.
Yeah. Trying to break in.
Yeah. But you're having a ball with this.
It's the dream.
Yeah.
It's the dream. Yeah, it's like fun. Cause, and you like, you were one of the. I was shocked that when you first asked me to come around here, and it was when we were still on public access. I was like shocked that you even knew about it, and now it's starting to actually, now it's on a platform that people are getting nationally, and they also, like, they were the ones who said we want to do it live again. Like,
right.
we didn't have to pitch them or beg them. We were content to do it scripted. Figured that's as far as any network would take it. No, we want to do it live. I was blown away, and I actually told one of their executives, like, not all of these are going to go well. Like, some of these are going to be train wrecks. And she was like, yeah, we think those are the ones people are going to like the most. And
right.
I was like, oh, my God, there's a network that actually gets what we're going for here. So all I ever wanted was a chance to fail on my own terms, and they've given that to me. So that's the dream, That's the dream.
Well, there is, I mean, if you think from what you were doing on public access, what you have now is more toys, better guests. But it's still
the same sensibilities.
It's crazy, crazy
I'm
show.
happy to hear you. As people who knew about it back then, I'm so happy to hear that, because I'm like, all I want is public access with money. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Let us build robots, like internet-controlled robots that we could have never afforded. Like, that's the only difference.
And, what's really funny, too, is, like, you didn't spend a whole hell of a lot of time with those, like, those robots had their time, and then you're doing other stuff.
Yeah.
And you got John Oliver, but you're doing other stuff. You know what I mean? And that's why, you know, it was fun for me also just to watch him last night, you know?
Yeah.
He's such a nice guy and such a funny guy. And I would have to imagine, especially right now, doing a show that's so politically driven, issue driven.
Right.
I was just really glad to give him a chance to not have to think about that
Yeah.
stuff for an hour of his life. Like, I'm happy to provide that for him because it must be, I can't imagine how much work him and his staff have to put in now.
And they can't make a mistake. Their thing is
no
like
way.
if they bring up a quote that isn't perfect, they're held to the same standards as the news. But you know, people even forget like Jon Stewart just started as a comic. You know what I mean? Jon Stewart, if you catch any of his 80s, early 90s stuff, he wasn't sitting around talking about Bush or, you know, he was a comic and then kind of flowed into that when he went from kind of doing a news parody to almost funny news.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I think it's interesting the people who came from that show who have carried that out. Like Samantha Bee is like, I check out Samantha Bee, like, what does she have to say? I'm sure this was not her original goal.
She started like Chris, right? Doing improv and stuff like that. Most of those people come from that background.
Yeah.
Colbert was, you know, a crazy fucking improv guy in Chicago.
Like a god to his generation.
Is that right? He was the guy, right?
Everything I heard was him and Carell, where like everyone was in awe of them at Second City.
Isn't that amazing that those two guys were together there, then they were together with Stewart, and now, you know, between the two of them, and they kind of went in incredibly different directions. Carell is doing a kind of serious comedy this year with Richard Linklater, where he's burying a dead kid, you know, a dead Marine, and these guys are like getting back to they're like Vietnam buddies who get back together to bury this guy's dead son who's a Marine. And I'm like, man, that's fucking far from The Office. You know? That's far from The Office, man. You know? But luckily, Chris Gethard's had zero growth in his...
if anything, regression. HBO is such a mature thing, and now I'm back to getting dunked in ice water by my idiot friends.
Also, I saw you a while back when you were on with Kelly Ripa, and I thought that was great that you were just talking about this is your mom's dream.
Oh, see, my mom has never been more proud of me than when I met Kelly Ripa. I tried so hard to become the co-host, but Seacrest snaked me on it. It's all I wanted, but she was very nice. But yeah, my mom, although my mom, if I ever got to meet Regis, that would be...
Sure, man.
Then I think my mom would... feel like her life had come full circle because Regis to her, I think, is like almost like a Catholic saint.
Yeah, and he's almost kind of a Catholic saint of New York. Like you don't go into a restaurant without the picture of Regis with the. Here we are. This was great food tonight. Here's some Polaroids that I took too last night. He's always that one of the people that I think has enjoyed New York more than almost anyone else.
Yeah, I also love because he was technically part of like the Rat Pack Sinatra crowd, right? He was kind of like the most family-friendly, accessible rung on that ladder of that generation.
He was Joey Bishop's sidekick on the Joey Bishop show, and Joey Bishop was like the opening act for the Rat Pack, right? So Regis would fill in and hang out with all those guys. And then Regis and Don Rickles were best buddies.
Look at that.
Wasn't Regis supposed to be, and maybe this has changed, but on TV more than any other person?
Other human being.
Yeah.
Any other human being in history.
Regis.
Yeah.
I love that so
now,
much.
If you add animation, I think Bugs Bunny beat him, but in just terms of actual breathing human beings.
Right. That's crazy.
If you even think of the crazy shit Regis did on Letterman all those years.
Always funny.
And
Every time, automatic funny.
Right. And was a complete different Regis than was on in the morning, you know?
And was also willing to walk into a situation where he was knowing it was all with love, but he was being mocked. He was being mocked. The number of times they would he was a punchline in top 10 lists is incredible as well. And then he would just walk in there totally charming, affable.
Yeah. Well, he got the premise of, you know, I'm in the game. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm in the game as the king or if I'm in the game as the jester, I'm in the game.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you have that sensibility about you, like, whatever happens, 2 days later, no one's going to remember it. particularly now, I think.
Oh,
you know,
more than back then.
Yeah. Particularly now, you can have, dick pics on the internet, and then a week later it's gone. Well, Trump is the living example of you just start another story if you don't like the one that's happening,
And just keep flipping it.
Yeah,
constantly.
just keep moving. Just keep moving all the time. He is kind of, I think, the kind of thing that anybody in show business now has a shot at the presidency, no matter who they are.
Yeah, it's a weird thing that has just been, I think it's totally opened up. Because I don't think it could have been a weirder, more appropriate character.
Right.
I mean, if you cast it if you wrote it as a movie, you would be like, it would be like a Donald Trump type, and it literally is Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So, at that point, I think all bets are off.
Well, how many times have we seen that, like Robin Williams or Chris Rock become the president and they're not sure, or it's King Ralph? You know what I mean? Like, now that you're there,
Right.
Well,
I had a friend talking about, like maybe, the next election will get the first female president. Oh, it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah. Doesn't matter.
It's not going to mean the same thing.
The office. No. Yeah. I love all the rumors that The Rock's going to run for the next one. I would love
Why
if
not?
every president moving forward had pro wrestling associations. I would love
Well, we've
that.
started it now.
Yeah.
Trump is already in the Hall of Fame. The Rock, personally, I'd go Stone Cold because, somebody that can handle giving a stun or taking one. I mean, he can take a beat down.
Yeah. Jake the Snake Roberts, Secretary of the Interior. I would love it.
When Jake the Snake dropped that move every time, it was exciting 100% of the time.
DDT?
The DDT.
You know what's great about him, too? Because I think way too hard about professional wrestling. He was in that era where it was like everyone was a cartoon character.
Yeah.
And he was the only one, he'd like look right into the camera and be like, I don't understand why you've poked the sleeping dragon. And he'd be like scared for his opponents. And then he'd be like, you've really woken me up here and I don't know what I'm going to do. And there's a part of me I don't like and you have brought it back. And I cannot apologize what I'm doing. Yeah. Kamala, the Ugandan giant. Like it was always like the opponents were still so idiotic.
Well, that was the time of bringing an animal to the ring, and he won.
Right.
With a giant snake that he could just slide out there.
Yeah.
Damien, Lucifer. I want him on the Chris Gethard show real bad. I think he'd take to it real well.
Oh, I think that he wouldn't even know the difference. I think it would all feel the
This is
same.
real life.
Well, you know what? Now that you bring it up, and I never thought of this before, but remember there was a very short period of time where Heenan had a show that was just bringing in freaks. It was right before Monday Night Raw, and they had that Monday night, and they made it like the Heenan talk show.
Right.
And it would just be like him, a wrestler, giant, heavy-set women for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
He was also a guy that was like perfectly cast.
Yeah. Wickedly funny, too.
Yeah, it was unbelievably
I always
funny.
heard he was actually childhood friends with Letterman. I
Really?
heard they grew up together or something like that.
I know they're from the same area, but I know I've heard Letterman talk about like he would go and see local wrestling there, and they would bring these guys out, and then they would introduce Heenan as being from Hollywood, California. Like he was better than everybody in Indiana.
All those gimmicks were so great. When I was a kid, that was kind of the end of that era where there was like over the top cartoon character type things where I was like, Papa Shango is real. Yeah. That's a real guy. I'm legitimately terrified of him.
Well, we lived in Florida, so those guys all lived around us, and I started radio there. So we became buddies with Heenan and Savage and stuff. And I'm going to throw this out because I don't know whether it's true or not, but I was told by those guys is that we were the first fucking guys on the radio to go with the bit, right? So when they would do radio before, they would try to trick them in saying that it's fake, and there would be a fight and stuff. And then like we would just bring Randy in and go, "What are you going to do about Hogan being with your wife?" Good question. You know what I mean? He just fucking, and it was just,
oh, they must have loved it.
Yeah. So all those guys ended up doing my show down there, and then they all fucking partied like maniacs. Yeah. Every one of them partied to a scary extent. So going like backstage in those days was just like going backstage with the Stones. It was just fucking great.
I always heard that the people of Florida took wrestling serious.
Way serious. Yeah. Well, they had Gordon Soley.
Oh,
and Gordon Soley, like if you watch NFL films and hear John Facenda, that's how Gordon Soley treated wrestling. And he's doing this thing and just, there's a small concrete thing on the TV. There's like 80 people watching, 3 rows, and it's Madison Square Garden to him.
It's a middle school gym like the Super Bowl.
Matter of fact, we down in Florida Wrestling, we were like supporting this wrestler, so we had to go meet with him in his office, and we were like, we want our guy to be a winner. And he'd be like, well, we'll do the best we can to find the right guy for you, but you never know once you get in there. And this is like 1990. We all know, dude. Right. We all fucking know.
But there's something so great about that. There's something so great about that.
Love it.
And those guys, when you would be backstage with them, when they had something, they would talk Carney, which is like a kind of version of Pig Latin, because they didn't want you to hear what the things would be,
That's like the Izark and all that kind of stuff that they did. Like,
I love the story. Do you know the story? The Iron Sheik and Hacksaw Jim Duggan got pulled over on the Jersey Turnpike and busted for cocaine.
Yeah,
and they got fired. But I always heard the story was that they did not get fired for using cocaine. They got fired because a good guy and a bad guy were in the same car together and it showed up in the papers. Unacceptable.
Right.
The idea that a good guy and bad guy would just be chilling doing drugs together in a car.
You ruined the bit.
No way.
Yeah, because they were supposed to hate each other. A lot of times those guys would have to get like different motel rooms in these small things. Like you'd be in a different motel than the other guy.
Right.
Because they couldn't be seen because
getting coffee in the lobby.
The point was if they saw each other anywhere, they would just start fighting.
Yeah. Well, back in those days too, it was those things where they do shows once a week in the same small towns.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're in the Florida territory, you can't have the ticket-buying audience member in Boca Raton understand that you guys eat pancakes together because you got to sell them another ticket 2 weeks from now.
And that would always be like the guy would come in from Texas who was like the champion of Texas, but when he got to Florida, he was a bad person.
You're Terry Funks of the world. Terry Funks of the world. Dory Funk Jr. I love it.
And everybody would be like, what is Funk doing here? He doesn't belong here.
Yeah. They go back to Amarillo. They're like, that guy is the best.
He is the best of all time. He's a great man. He sells cars when he's in town. Chris, we don't plug anymore. I mean, one of the things to do is let everybody know about this show.
I apologize.
I'm happy to talk about wrestling the whole time.
Chris Gethard's in studio. The Chris Gethard Show airs live Thursdays at 11 p.m. East on True TV and on Twitter. It's at Chris Gethard.
You know what's also funny about wrestling, because they have those old tapes now, to go back to the Bruno Sammartino days and just see that the crowd wasn't popping that much.
Yeah.
They would just sit.
Like politely clapping for people and stuff.
And it would always be like an Italian guy versus a Polish guy for an hour. Right?
Yeah.
And then that's fall number 1. Let's see how the next match. And they would just be guys going on forever.
Time limit draws. 90-minute time limit draws.
What was the turning point then? What made it the bigger than life?
When Vince McMahon Jr. took over from his dad. His dad was a boxing promoter, right? And was like, we'll just treat it like an athletic competition. Bruno Sammartino was the champion because he was Italian. A lot of Italians in the New York area. When he lost, it was Pedro Morales, right?
Spanish.
Puerto Rican guy. Who's in New York? Who's buying tickets? But it was always interesting too because I watched those old ones, and the top guys is really boring. Bob Backlund, boring matches, like DQ after a 45-minute match. But then the undercards, it's like, and now we're gonna bring in Tiger Mask from Japan.
Yeah,
who was this guy who would do like triple back, all this stuff that would look crazy today.
Yeah,
and you could tell those fans were like, wait, what is this shit?
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, and now your main event. is two balding guys laying on the mat for 55 minutes, holding each other's wrists.
Here comes Jerry Zabisco, everybody.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh. Just a guy from Pittsburgh. But Pedro Morales was great because Vince was so young doing that. And he would just do the thing with him and go like this. And now, Pedro, would you like to say something to our Spanish-speaking audience? It's the same thing you see the governor of Florida today do during the hurricane. And now, after talking for 10 minutes, I'm going to give 30 seconds to the Spanish people out there. But yeah, Vince was... People don't even realize the thing about it, everybody had territories, but because he had New York, Boston, and Philly, there was extra strength there. And if you even look at it years later, that's what Howard Stern had in radio. Like his initial thing was the Northeast, where all the marketing money is, and then you could move that out.
Lockdown.
You start to move that out against the smaller territories. So everybody used to have their own champion before Vince. And everybody was like, well, this is bad for the business.
Right.
But Hogan was in the news today because he called the people of the Tampa Bay area crybabies for saying that they don't have water and power right now because it could be worse.
That's a Hollywood Hogan move.
Thank you very much.
NWO.
By the way, we were there in Daytona the night that Hogan turned.
Really?
And it was...
Heartbreaking?
No, it was...
Mayhem.
Yeah, it was a pure riot breaking out.
That's amazing.
It was like really exciting, and then I went, "Uh-oh, I got little kids." Being a really bad dad right now is shit's just raining down from the rafters.
Yeah, I grew up in the North. We used to go see. We were in the WWE, like sphere, and I remember we went and saw SummerSlam at the Meadowlands once. And it was when Foley jumped off the cage to the outside.
Oh,
it was
Jesus.
like everybody went nuts. But I'll never forget my brother. My brother's such a funny dude, but he's like such a loose cannon, and he loves causing trouble. And we were holding up. It was when everybody held up signs all the time. And he held up some sign, and on the back of it, he had a different sign that had said "Wrestling is fake." He just wrote the words "Wrestling is fake." So he's holding that up sometimes, trying to get that on camera.
Yeah.
But then when the one on the other side, he's holding it up unintentionally to the entire Meadowlands. And a guy ran down and tried to beat up my brother.
Yeah, they do.
And not a wrestler, some fan. Some guy was just like, "You think wrestling's fake? Well, I'll show you fake wrestling." And we were like, "Dude, you're just another guy who bought a ticket. You don't have to do this. Like, you got no skin in this game, dude.
Yeah.
Leave us alone." That's like a total Greg Gethard move. To go to wrestling and hold up a sign that says it's fake and then be shocked that someone would have a problem with that. That's my brother in a nutshell.
Yeah, it's like those guys getting chucked down the Trump press things, when they would just try to, and there'd be 19,000 people against one.
Right.
Yeah. Vito, you're a big wrestling fan.
Yes.
What's the peak time in wrestling for you?
I mean, like
all the eras.
there was nothing like the Attitude Era. Like everybody in the world was watching wrestling. It wasn't lame to watch it. It was cool. Everybody had wrestling T-shirts.
You know why, though?
Mainstream
Competition.
Yeah.
Like Vince got crazy when he started to lose that thing.
Yeah.
And it was over for him. They sold all of his stars, and he just figured out a way, to make it more exciting. And that's where Stone Cold came from and The Rock came from.
And he lost in the ratings for like 2 or 3 years
Yeah.
straight. And do you know what the turning point was? This makes me laugh so hard. WCW, because WWF used to pre-tape back then some weeks. And WCW would give away the results on the air live on Nitro so that nobody would change the channel.
Right.
So they would be like, "Here's the lame stuff they're doing." And there was one night where they were like, "Don't bother changing the channel to the competition, everybody. They're actually letting Mick Foley win the world championship tonight. Can you believe they're putting it on that dump of men?" And you can watch the ratings, and everyone changed the channel, and WCW never won again.
Right.
Yeah.
I told everybody what was happening, and they were like, "That sounds better. Let's go."
Yeah.
Tragic misplay on that one.
I remember when they were destroying the WWE, I went to a WCW thing, and I talked to Heenan, and he was like, "This place," he goes, "it ain't going to make it." I'm like, "What are you talking about? You're fucking killing him." He goes, "Dude, this is just a TV show. They don't wrestle. They don't go to other, nobody ever wants to go out into the sticks and wrestle dark matches." He's like, Vince has a real wrestling organization.
Right.
This is just a TV show burning through Ted Turner's money. And I'm like, that's kind of crazy. And like 2 years later, he was right, man. They they just got beat playing their own game because they were just paying people not to wrestle, really. 8 of them to walk down to. Chris, you're never going to plug, or you know what I mean? Like,
Chris Gethard is
the whole time.
Chris Gethard's in
TV show. People need to know about this thing.
It's the Chris Gethard Show. It airs live Thursdays at 11 p.m. East on True TV and on Twitter at Chris Gethard.
And the reason why you can see this in Chris's show, while we're talking about wrestling, because there is that element, that crazy
anything could
element.
happen.
Well, so much of our writing too. If you're a lot of wrestling fans have taken to our show because I think they see a lot of our, like, there's a character called Vacation Jason that the whole bit is, I'm like, I hate this guy, I don't get why you like him, and he shows up uninvited out of nowhere, does run-ins, like, people are constantly doing stuff to torture me, and we're teasing that I might actually overcome it, and, that's almost like the hot tag, like, that's the philosophy of, like, in the tag team match, is he gonna get to his partner and get safe again, and it's like, so much of the writing and the way I think is about, like, crowd, like, I do all these bits where people are like, how come you do all this stuff where you get beat up all the time, and I'm like, people forget that I wrote it. People forget that I opted into it and wrote it, and it's about trying to get them to suspend their disbelief and care in the time that the show is on live. And to me, that's just, I grew up watching Clash of the Champions on CBS. It's like that's where I learned how characters work and how to tell the audience what you're doing in 1 or 2 sentences so they don't have to think too hard about it and then sit back and just see how it turns out. That's just what watching wrestling was like to me as a kid. That's like, I'm almost trying to experience emulate the experience for the audience of watching wrestling more than comedy, which a lot of comedy fans don't understand that that's how I'm trying to manipulate them at the end of the day.
Right.
It's like, we're going to set up this crazy thing. It's live. It's happening one night only. You got to be there. Then set up how everybody feels about it and try to knock it down. You know? That's a lot of it. The psychology's right there.
Right there. Well, wrestling, and I don't even know if a lot of people know this, but even when we were talking about the talk that they do, that's Carney Talk. Wrestling was a sideshow on the Midway back in the early 20s and 30s. And you had to grab people, bring them in, you know what I mean? And they would bring out just some, 450-pound guy, and he'd be yelling at people as they walk. You can't miss this. You got to come in. You got to, throw your quarter down to come in and do this. So they were competing against the freak shows, you know what I mean? And then they got the ideas, let's bring some of them in, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Let's have that woman walk them to the ring. It's all really state fair shit from the word
that's
go.
Probably why they wrestled bears back in the day. It's probably why they had the little people matches.
Yeah.
Like all of it ties in, right?
And the whole term of shoot, they would say anybody in town that thinks this is fake, we'll give you $10 if you could come in and last 3 minutes with this guy, because those guys were really badasses, and they would go right away and just try to stomp their ankles and fucking gouge their eyes, and they would beat the shit out of the tough farmer kids to prove, like, hey, he just beat up the biggest guy in our neighborhood. Maybe this is real. Maybe this is actually happening for real. But that's what you want from your show. You want people to go, did they mean to do that, or was that a giant mistake?
I think there is a part of me that's like, I want the show to fall apart at times. I want us to like take some big swings at stuff. But as long as they can see us react in an honest way, it's not really about if the bit goes well or doesn't go well. It's about watching us react to it. It's watching us try to get through it together. It's watching us sort of take it on. I always sort of say with the show, it's like, we'll announce some crazy stunt that we're doing, crazy thing that sounds like, what are you talking about? That's so nuts. But then when you watch it, what gets you coming back, hopefully that you realize, like, these are some likable, funny people that seem to actually care about each other.
Right.
And you come to care about the actual human beings, the culture surrounding the show.
Right.
Is the ideal.
Well, your original premise was to the outsiders of the insiders, right? Like, this is the place that people that might not have grown up with friends when they were younger come and hang out together.
The island of misfit toys.
Yeah.
That's like what we were going for. I think it still holds true that, but I also think it's funny too. I've had to think a lot about that. My friend, he was on the show last year, Jason Mantzoukas, such a funny guy. He pulled me aside at some point. He's like, hey, like, you're not the underdog thing. People aren't going to buy it so much longer. And I was like, but it's still how I feel. And he's like, I get it. But also, like, you're older now, and you got a gig now, and you're married now, and your wife's on the show, and people can see she's pretty now. So are you going to be the underdog forever? And I was like, I'll always feel that way, but I think the show still contains all of that. But there's also an element now that's like there's a lot of good TV in the world, a lot of bad TV, but this is one of the least fake shows you're ever going to see.
Right.
And I think that's one of the things I want to put out there now is like, we're not fakers. Like, we're really doing it.
Right.
And that ties right into the underdog thing. Of like, if you have a chip on your shoulder, feel like regular TV kind of condescends to you, doesn't respect your intelligence, this show does. I promise you that.
And that it's like the unpolished nature of it is going to lend itself to that. Because, of course, there are other shows that aren't live, or there are other late night shows that are going with a very polished or professional thing. So I still think like the underdog element is still, I don't think you can unmarry yourself from that.
I've tried. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen.
But I don't think it's ever even happened for Iggy Pop or Marilyn Manson.
Mm-hmm.
You know, man, those guys still carry the fact that they weren't let in through the front door. You know what I mean?
It's the Ramones. I think about the Ramones way too hard.
Right.
With it, where I'm like, I think I might be the comedy in a way that it is great. I'm like, I think there's a lot of people that have written on my show that already have moved on to better shows. Like, a lot of success for the people surrounding it, but I don't know if this is ever going to get the mainstream. Who knows? Just hope I hope I die as beloved as Joey Ramone and not as bitter as Johnny Ramone. That's one of the main life goals now. That's one of the main life goals.
That is, the Ramones are like the perfect analogy because the fact that they sold more T-shirts than albums has got to tell you something about where America is now. Like people will go out and buy, CBGB T-shirts, but not listen to any of the bands. From there. Yeah.
Yeah, and like that thing had become like such an iconic thing. I bet there are people who would recognize that logo, the Ramones
Absolutely,
logo,
all over the world,
and probably not really know where it comes from.
And if you really go back into the business, why didn't radio just? These are catchy pop songs.
They're so catchy.
It makes no sense.
Some of the catchiest songs ever. And, like, they're, like, sweet, too. Yeah. Like, all of them have that kind of, like, puppy love kind of sweetness about them.
They don't leave your head. It seemed intentional. It's like, I always loved the documentary about them, End of the Century, but it's heartbreaking to see, like, they can't explain it. Like, they're baffled and heartbroken by it, and they still don't know why. And even when you think, despite the fact that things turned out the way he did, like Phil Spector stepped in and was like, let me help out. I'll put my name on it. That'll put you over the top. They were like, thank God, finally. Nope. No. Never happened.
In the last days of Ramones, they were still leaving from New York in a van to go out, do a gig, and come back that night. Yeah. After having 5, 6, 7 classic fucking albums. They're still like, okay, remember, we're meeting in front of the club. And you sit Johnny would make sure everybody sat in the same seats all the time.
That part have you seen that documentary?
Yeah.
It's that part where Johnny Ramone is like, when you realize, they don't even speak because Johnny stole Joey's girlfriend, married her. They're all in the van together, do not speak to each other. And Johnny Ramone has that part where he's just going, the end of the day, I'm a T-shirt salesman. That's what I am. It's not about music, not about art. It's about selling T-shirts. I was like, oh, God. This is the nightmare ending. This is the nightmare ending for any creative person sitting in silence, doing a thing people love while hating it and hoping they buy a T-shirt afterwards. Ooh, nightmare. But also everything I want.
Despising anyone who doesn't love Reagan.
Oh, yeah.
I met Johnny's wife at one of the projects they were doing. She came around and she's still like got that fucking hot Lower East Side thing going on. I'm like, yeah, I could see why the Ramones would be fighting over her. You know what I mean? It's still like there was that weird Lower East Side dirty fucking hot thing that just it went up like like flash paper, but there's still always the echo of that after all these years. You know?
Yeah, it's still. I mean, it's definitely one of the greatest eras of New York City and one of the greatest eras, I think, of just like American culture.
But it had to be totally frightening at the same time. Like, you had your apartment for free, but if you went out to get milk, you had to take a knife with you. You know what I mean?
Right.
They were just fighting constantly.
But I think a lot, too. It's like it's because you think about New York a lot with that. It's like it wasn't just CBGBs. It's like at the same time, that's when hip hop parties were starting in the Bronx, and that's when the first stand up clubs were opening,
and disco at the same time.
Like,
yeah,
and that's when like all the Warhol stuff was still going. It was like
Basquiat. It was all happening.
Yeah, all the graffiti stuff. It's like even like Madonna and all the club stuff. It's like how much cool stuff could have been happening in one city at the same time.
Yeah, there was like a rare person who went to all those events too. Like he was at Studio 54 and then went to CBGB's. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then like, oh, there's an opening downtown. And the other interesting thing that reminds me of like the UCB thing is that they were all supporting each other. So the bands would go to the art opening and all the artists would go to see the bands. It was that kind of desperation. You know, when everybody thinks it's at its worst is sometimes when things are at their best.
Yeah.
And that's what we say the Chris Gethard Show is, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much.
The Chris Gethard Show airs live Thursdays, 11 p.m. East on True TV and on Twitter. It's at Chris Gethard.
Buy his T-shirt even if you don't watch the show, folks. At the end of the day, he's just a T-shirt salesman. See you next time, Chris.
You're the best. Thanks, guys.
The weird thing about Chris is he seems more like a radio guy than he does a TV guy.
He does,
You know what I mean? 'Cause
actually,
that's
yeah.
all kind of old school shock jock stuff. But they're nicer than we were. We were very bad about it. But we were always like, hey, how can we hurt the interns? Vito, do you hate it when wrestling comes up and then you can't play a big part in it?
Yeah, I don't want to like fanboy out and start talking about stuff. So I just I just try to.
This is your time, though. That's your time to fanboy.
I know, but it's about Chris Gethard. It's not about.
You know what? You're right. That's why he's the best producer in
He's
the history.
maturing,
Ever?
I think.
Yeah. I'm just in the history of the Bennington show.
Oh,
I can't compare
that's
him to
fair.
other shows. What are you doing, Beats?
This was on Fox 5, not Fox News.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
We had TMZ on instead of.
Oh, God damn it, Chris.
That wasn't my fault.
Thanks for fixing that for Chris.
No problem.
Vito, Rock is your all-time favorite, right?
No, my all-time favorite, Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels is I was obsessed with Shawn Michaels.
You
growing
too,
up.
Gil.
I really love I mean, nobody's better than Savage for me.
Yeah.
Like, Mach is always going to be my favorite.
I'm
And it's almost not fair, so
Right.
I would say Shawn Michaels after. It would be in my second
Yeah, we
place
always
spot.
got to do a second tier with you guys because you're very loyal to your favorites. But I was more of a Marty Jannetty fan, and I thought that when Shawn fucking turned on him, it was the end of Shawn and the beginning of the Jannetty era.
Put him right through the barbershop window.
It seemed like Marty took that so bad he just went and ate pills for the next 15 years.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? If you ever go back and watch The Rockers, fucking Shawn didn't talk at all.
Yeah,
Didn't say a word.
he didn't. He was more the quiet.
He was the quiet, tiny one that was just bouncing. They would bounce. Why are you guys bouncing so much? I'm so excited to be here, doing great rocker work. Let me bring this thing up to you. Someone wrote this in too. Listening to Studio 54, we have the Studio 54 channel, and a lot of them were saying how those guys were crazy about Lou Reed and Doug Lou Reed. Yeah, because they were the weird underground scene. You know what I mean?
Right. Makes sense.
The Studio 54 seems like it was like glamour, but it was just funky, sleazy, jizzy. You know what I mean? Quaaludes and coke and I got fucked up last night. I think someone banged me in the ass. I'm not kidding. I think I got banged in the ass last night. All right, I'm going to ask you guys this question. What percentage of Americans, and I want you guys to write down.
Okay.
All right, got it.
Chad, I want you to write this down.
All right.
What percentage of Americans sleep with a stuffed animal? Ba, 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 ba. Percentage of American adults who sleep with a stuffed animal in their bed. Bop, 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 bop.
Okay.
All right, pens down, everybody. I'm going to go to Chris Stanley first. Chris?
3%.
3%. Now, do you sleep with a stuffed animal, Chris?
I do not.
And your gal pal?
She does not.
She does not. Let's go to Vito. Vito.
I said 38%.
38%.
And you can figure out. But like I use it sideways where I can also wrap my arm around the head.
Right. So you have the in-between
Exactly.
space for the arm.
Gail?
Okay, so I thought I went really high, and when I heard Chris's, I was embarrassed.
Right.
I thought 9%, and I was even regretting it after I heard Chris's 3%.
Do you sleep with a stuffed animal?
I do not sleep with a stuffed animal. I do have a blankie that I sleep with,
Right.
who I call Junior.
Yeah.
But that is it. And it's just because it's very soft and comfortable.
Right.
But I do not have a stuffed animal that I sleep with.
I hate myself right now.
3%, 9%, and then a whopping 38%. Let's go over here to Jen. Jen.
This includes like kids, right? Like every
Sure,
American.
you
Okay,
can
that's
include.
why I said 40%.
40% higher. Now,
Yeah,
do you
'cause I
sleep
feel
with
like
this? Do you think that a large amount of America is children?
I think right now, yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of little kids and they sleep with stuffed animals.
Now,
mostly.
how do you sleep with a stuffed animal?
I did when I was younger, but not right now.
Not right now.
Yeah.
Do you have a stuffed animal in your room that a guy gave you or somebody gave you or you have?
No one's giving
There's
me
no
a
stuffed animal in the room. What about you, Gail? Do you have a stuffed animal in the room anywhere? On the headboard?
There's a baby doll that was my childhood baby doll that is in my bedroom, but it is not displayed. It's just like, there was no way for me to get rid of that baby doll. Like,
because
it's
you
like,
saw Toy Story.
yeah, and so I still have it, but I don't sleep with it and I don't play with it. I'm an adult, but it is, a childhood relic.
Okay. Now, so that's 1 out of 4 of you sleep with a stuffed animal. Now, as it becomes a 5, 2 out of 5 of us have a stuffed animal in their bed because my chick has an armadillo that reminds her of Florida, and it's always in the bed. It's in the bed 100% of the time. And you don't want to wake up and you're looking face to face with an armadillo. One of you hit the exact number. One of you hit the exact number. Which one of you think it is?
I think it's me.
I was going to say me because
Yeah.
I feel like,
At 9%.
yeah, that enough to be a story, but their numbers are insane and crazy.
Would you guys like to change yours and say who bet, or you want to keep your number?
I'm going to change my number.
Yeah. To what?
22%.
But that no one
22%.
hit the nail then when we said it, which is what he just said. Someone hit it exactly.
So you're definitely wrong now.
You're 100% wrong no matter what. Jen, would you like to stick with your answer or trade it for someone else's?
I'm sticking with my number.
All right. We do have a winner. It's Jen. 40%.
No!
Really?
40% of Americans
Oh my
sleep with a
God.
stuffed animal in their bed.
Holy shit.
I'm very
Oh
surprised.
my
Yeah.
God.
Not 22.
Having said this, I am dying to see the fucking covered in cum stuffed fucking bear that Vito has.
I have a picture.
All right, put it on Twitter.
Okay.
Thank God.
Send that to Twitter.
It's like in a big group, so it's but the bear is there. Crop
Okay.
it, bro.
No, I don't have a picture of Junior.
Why would you have a picture of your stuffed animal?
It was because it was given to me at a birthday thing, so it was in the birthday picture.
Who gave it to you?
A friend of mine.
Oh, God. Mm-hmm.
Male?
No, female. 2 females gave it to me.
Families.
This is, and then I'll put it up.
I sometimes don't even have bed sheets on my fucking bed.
Sometimes.
So
I never expect it. That is a big fucking bear.
Yeah, it is. And like, was this a joke gift or?
They came to surprise me on my birthday at some bar in Times Square, and they saw it on their way to see me.
Do me a favor, dude. Could you get some less diverse friends? I mean, this looks like a Pepsi commercial.
Did you name your bear?
Yeah, the bear's name is Chet.
Yeah. His friends are so diverse and pretty, it looks like they went through casting to become his friends. That's crazy, though, right?
That's just shockingly large.
Well,
number.
like body pillows are really popular. Like animal shaped body pillows. Some adults sleep with like female shaped body pillows.
Yeah, well, they're gonna have robots soon to fucking cuddle up with.
Finally.
Soft robots.
I've had girlfriends that had stuffed animals, but I never
But
thought
then-
almost half of the adult population.
But then
has
you would
one.
sleep in the bed with that stuffed animal.
Yes.
Yeah, so
It seems just too large.
there's I can't believe how many people put pillows on their beds that they don't sleep with. Like people will have pillows, and then there's like
almost like throw pillow, like
Yeah.
decorative pillows that they take off.
they take off and they put in this like fucking pillow box, and I'm like, I just want to fall into bed.
Mm-mm.
Those are a waste.
Are you not an alcoholic? So you love that that bear, huh?
It's really comfortable, and like I've always slept with some kind of stuffed animal before the bear. I came back one weekend, it was thrown away, and it was a really big issue. I had a giant crocodile that was a body type pillow.
Yeah.
Before that, I had a small bear that it was a Ric Flair themed bear,
Yeah.
and I called him Rick Bear.
So witty.
And he had the robe on, and that was my buddy for a while.
Would
No.
you be like, it's time for you to get fucked, Rick Bear?
Well, the thing I find interesting about this is I know you've already said you had a twin-sized bed. So you have these giant pillows in there?
Yeah, it's a small situation, but that's why I like it, because
That's a huge bear. It's
There's,
up on Twitter.
there's Team Diversity supplying him with his bear.
we're at Benihana.
Which one of the guys is a hacker?
Lord Nikon.
What's that from?
Hackers.
Okay, good.
He's the black guy.
Why can't you? I mean, most hacking has happened after that.
Yeah.
Why haven't you updated? Why aren't you watching Mr. Robot if you love hacking so much?
Because I just like that hackers early 90s version of hacking, where fucking E equals MC square is floating around in some sort of weird
And what was
cyberspace.
the bad guy's name?
The plague.
Yeah.
When the plague was just riding his skateboard as he held on
Yeah.
to a car.
To get a floppy disk.
Yeah.
To get a floppy disk. It's so
That's
amazing.
how edgy they were.
It's amazing.
Oh, that's the giant pillow that Vito humps and pumps.
We're just friends. I don't fuck the bear.
Did you cut
I'm
a
gonna
hole in
check
it?
for holes. I'm gonna check.
I'll bring him in. I'll bring him in on Monday.
There's duct tape all over it.
No, we're just friends. He's a good
Now,
bear.
why do you love it so much? Does it smell like oil, garlic, and shrimp?
Yeah, it's never lost its Benihana flavor.
There's no way that you could wash the Benihana out of
No.
that fucking bear.
There's like a little shrimp stuck to it.
I've thrown clothes away after being at Benihana. I don't know why. Like, Benihana is one of those places, like, the first 2 or 3 bites are delicious. And it gets, like, gnarly
Right.
after that. There's a Benihana right up the road, and we always say we should go sometime and just have that cheesy fucking night out. And then we're like, no, I want to eat real food
You know, it's
tonight.
not too
That's
bad.
where that was.
Well, I used to work upstairs from there, right? So we used to do the show for XM, take like an hour or so break, and then go over and do, forget what fucking FM Talk or whatever it was called. And so Benihana's at the bottom of that. And then you had 2 elevators, and the Benihana smell used to come right up the elevators. And I would be leaving it, and I go, man, I'm fucking starving. And everyone's like, what do you want to eat? I'm like, rice, shrimp, little pieces of chicken, little tiny pieces of hard steak that you can't chew. Yeah, I don't know, they get the worst fucking steak
Yeah, they do.
grade ever. You're just like, he's like, Ma, and I'm like, still chewing that piece from 5 minutes ago.
This
Says-
gum?
Yeah, steak gum. Steak gum, Chris. Write that down on our list of $1 million lists.
Steak gum list.
No, it's not a whole list of steak
gum
gum.
on the list.
Yeah. You made it seem like it's a steak gum list.
You did.
And then you underneath it, it was just like pork chop list. I mean, it was just basically same kind of stuff.
Rib list.
When I get the opportunity here, I'm going to play you guys Brother Joe on People's Court. It was the fucking most... I've known Brother Joe for 17 years, you know? And seeing him on People's Court and hearing Ant's name come up on People's Court, it was fucking crazy. So do you guys know why he... See, here's what's happened. So I guess there was some kind of internet battle, and they were picking on Brother Joe, right? And what they decided to do was call up people that Brother Joe was going to work for and then show them some tweets or say something about him, right? So this guy that he was taking to you, his band, his tribute band, the guy canceled.
Right.
So he was there to prove that he shouldn't have been canceled. And it was just surreal. So let's take a break. We'll come back and we'll play some of that. Maybe we'll play all of it because it's unfucking believable. Now, yesterday I was watching Artie and Ant watch it.
Right.
That's something you have to fucking see. Because I can't repeat most of what was said. So we'll break, come back. This is Bennington. That's Brother Joe. Coming up in a few moments, we will play Brother Joe on the People's Court. Look who's on the line right now, the greatest intern in history, Spencer Berger. Spencer!
Hello, Bennington!
Hello, Spencer!
Hello, Spencer!
Oh, it's such an honor to be your caller for today.
Spencer, how's things back at school?
Things are great. I actually just got out of my class, and I actually got mixed up with the times when to call you guys, but now I called you at the right time.
Yes, you did. So, what can we do for you, pal? What are you checking in for?
Nothing much. I just want to see how Chris and his girlfriend are getting along.
That's none of your business,
Yeah.
And just fine.
Would you say
Awesome, Chris.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Would you say that it's heating up, Chris?
Oh, it's heated.
It's
I
getting
would say that.
stinky.
Would you say that it's more serious than you ever expected to be?
Oh, yes, much more serious, yes.
Are you saying
Yes,
there
it
could,
is.
yeah? Could
Thanks,
there be
Spencer.
something shiny that you give to her at the big Thanksgiving show that we're doing?
I don't know what you're talking
Dude,
about.
Yeah.
A Thanksgiving engagement?
Please.
that's
Oh my
strange.
God, please, Chris.
I can't. I'm not. No engagements.
Oh,
At first he
come
said
on,
not
Chris.
talking
You got
about
nuts.
the
I know you
engagement.
can do it, man.
Oh, what's that supposed to mean?
Gone to the chapel and we're gonna get married.
Who sings along with their own teasing
I don't
song?
know.
It's a fun song.
Yeah. But
Alrighty. I'm walking to my next class, but it was good talking to you guys, and I'll check in with you guys in a couple weeks.
okay,
Okay.
great call, Spencer.
All right.
Great
Talk-
call, pal.
guys.
Take it easy.
Talk to you in a couple weeks.
Strange call, but thanks, Spencer.
I just wanted to hear how Chris is doing with his girlfriend.
Whoa.
What did he do? He tried to call us yesterday and we had a guest or something?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Glad I gave him that update. That's been killing him.
Andy, Winnipeg, what's up?
Hey, buddy. How's it going? $1,000,000.
$1 million to you, pal.
Hey, Gail. Love you. Vito, Jen,
Aw, sweet.
Imani.
Hey,
Who else
Aw.
is there? Nobody?
we're all here.
That's
I'm here,
it.
Yeah, Chris.
Oh, Chris. When did you get there?
I got kind of a question for Vito, more of a, I guess, statement about Julie on Big Brother.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Go for it.
It's nothing that I know for sure, but I have a guess that maybe the reason why she's paying so much attention this year is maybe she's playing on the celeb.
Julie Chen inside. I don't ever see in her risk it.
It would
I don't know.
take away legitimacy from her as a host if she went in and she just got eliminated.
Are you
week
saying
one.
she's a legitimate host?
I think this season she's been a legitimate host.
You're out of
Really?
your mind. You are so easy to please.
I like that she asked the hard hitting questions.
I did not like some of the questions. I felt she was a little pushy last
Oh, yeah.
night.
She was saying, do you get it, Kevin?
Get
Do
it?
you understand?
What's happening?
And that's not her job. That
Yeah.
isn't what she does. What you want to do is find out how they think, not tell them what to think. She's the
She
Paul.
really hates Raven too.
Who doesn't?
She's my favorite after last night.
Raven.
Raven, the puppet master who ran the entire season?
She is pulling the strings.
She's the one in control.
And then I love that they were like, yeah, dude, we all had an alliance with Paul. And she's like, yeah, but mine was real.
Oh,
Then why are you sitting here, Raven?
Well, her and Matt were the only ones that Paul really cared about.
Yeah, she figured that well. All right, thanks.
Okay,
Okay,
guys.
Peace out. So Sunday night,
No episode Sunday.
no episode Sunday.
Episode tonight, which is probably going to be a clip show. Beginning of the HOH competition. Sunday's the Emmys.
Now, what do you mean the beginning? We'll see who wins the first leg.
No, you'll see 1 minute of it after a long clip show is what I imagine, because that's what they usually do. But we do know right now who won the first part from the feeds.
Well, without even knowing, I'll just say this: I know, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Without even knowing,
Yeah,
I know.
of course. Of course it is.
Every morning I'd unlock the door, lay down and I sleep a little more. Then I put away the bathroom key. Everybody was depending on me. That's Brother Joe, who did what I consider the greatest parody song of all time, Can't Be Beat. And that's the Black Girl song named after my good friend, Black Girl Douglas, the man who is the history of New York radio. Now, I wish on the People's Court they would have played that song as he came out. So I gave you a little bit of the background.
Yeah.
Brother Joe is Anthony's older brother. And he, without trying to book this, they just check around when small claims court, and when they think that there's something that would be good TV, they put they'll pull it out.
Wow, I didn't realize that's how it happened. I
Yeah.
thought maybe you went
Submitted
after the
it
show.
or whatever. Well, anyway, that's what that's how Aunt told me that they picked up on it. So Brother Joe, his show was canceled because of things that he had said on the internet, and apparently some internet people had taken it to the club to say, "Do you realize what kind of person Edge is?" Because he's Edge,
Right,
when he's there. All right, so we're going to play, and this is up on our Twitter if you'd like to see it, a little bit of People's Court with Brother Joe.
This is the plaintiff, Joseph Kumi.
This is nuts to me.
He says the defendant booked his U2 cover band for an event he was having, and the guy tried to cancel the gig 2 weeks before the performance date. The defendant thinks he has the right to cancel penalty-free, but he's here to show him he can't. He thinks the judge will totally agree and is suing for $2,300, the amount he's due. This is the defendant, Terrence Nelson. He says a patron at the bar he was going to have the U2 cover band perform at told him the plaintiff was a humongous racist and sent him screenshots of despicable things the guy posted on Twitter. His bar's a chill spot. He won't endorse or finance a bigot, and he believes he has it out with the contract he signed, so he owes nothing. He's accused of still not finding what he's looking for.
Guy did with the song.
Very clever.
All parties, please use your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
So just to let everybody know, Judge Wapner's dead, and she's taken over. Last time I saw it, Judge Wapner had the show.
You get the rest of the stuff.
Litigants have been sworn in.
Thank you,
You're
Douglas.
welcome.
All right. Mr. Cumia, you are suing Mr. Nelson for $2,300 for the balance of a contract to book, is it your band?
It is my band.
Okay,
yes.
a U2 cover band. What's the name of your cover band?
Tribute band by the name of 2U.
2U. And what do you mean by, what's a tribute band?
A tribute band is a cover band that presents themselves as the original act.
Oh, so they gear up and
Dress up.
stuff.
It's half acting,
Who
half
does
musicianship.
Bono?
A gentleman by the name of Cello, a friend of mine.
I was going to say, You're not going to cut it. All right.
No.
Okay.
Vital's not beautiful.
So tell me what happened.
Well, in essence, I received a phone call from Mr. Nelson, an email, requesting that we play at his establishment, Trenton Social.
What's the name of your establishment?
Trenton Social.
Okay.
And after a little bit of back and forth with him via email, we decided that we could do it. And he was very thankful. I thanked him. We had not too many words back and forth as far as, discussing.
Do you have a written contract?
Logistics. I do, yes.
May I see it?
Sure.
Very prepared.
So what happened?
Well, that contract was in force for approximately 2 months. And when the first I heard about there being a problem was Mr. Nelson had sent me an email, and he told me that the contract wasn't correct. So he had gotten in touch with me via telephone, and when we spoke, he came clean about it, and he said that he believes that I have some political and social beliefs that would not be acceptable in his venue, and that he feels as though
political and social
beliefs, yes, okay. that go against what he says. In fact, he had mentioned being informed of tweets and Facebook posts that portray me as not only a racist, but a misogynist, a homophobe, a pedophile,
Chris, look at the black guy's face.
Hard-carrying, violent white supremacist, and a myriad of other ridiculous accusations.
All right, here's the thing: if you want to not be called a white person, you got to grow the hair out a little more.
Yeah.
You can't show up with a bald head and say, "He's calling me a white supremacist." The black dude behind is in shock.
Mm-hmm.
And the chick in the background also just shaking
She's
her head.
disgusted.
Shaking it off, like...
White people don't seem to be that upset about it, though.
One guy seems to be just checking his phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or sleeping.
Yeah. All right, back into it.
I have the source. I did a bit of investigating, and I came up with the source of those accusations. And it's an ongoing problem that I've had pertaining to online bullying and terrorist tactics to do nothing more than defame me, make my brand unemployed.
Yeah, but were the comments from you that he was concerned about, or were the comments from someone else that he was concerned about?
They come from somewhere else. They're pure fabrication.
Okay, what happened?
I was sent messages from people that were not only guests of my venue, but also friends and whatever. I was unaware of his affiliation with his brother, who's a radio personality, so he was somewhat...
Who's the brother?
Anthony Cumia from the Opie and Anthony show.
Wow, who made the comments? The testimony continues.
What a shocker. His brother's also a weirdo, scary guy. I don't know whether we got commercial. Oh, I guess not. Go ahead.
U2 tribute band, and the defendant canceled the gig 2 weeks before. The defendant says he found out the plaintiff was a racist, but the plaintiff says he never said the statements, and somebody's setting him up. Let's listen.
Anthony was dismissed from the show in 2014.
And he was dismissed from the show for what reasons?
There was an issue with management on Sirius XM satellite radio. He was in, if you'd like, I can go through the story.
No, I just kind of let's try it this way.
He was dismissed for angrily tweeting involving a confrontation that he had with a woman in Manhattan.
Management said more than that. I remember this. Management said that it was racist and misogynistic and blah blah blah. All the things you said except for pedophile. Racist, misogynistic.
Yes.
Okay, that's
but
that gentleman is your
story.
brother.
Your Honor.
That is correct.
There's more. I don't think you've gotten all the information, Your Honor. Here's the thing about Ant. He's playing this on his show. I don't know why, but he just doesn't give a fuck that this shit is out there. It's like, it's going to be such a blessing.
Yeah. Anyone else would be losing sleep and stressing.
Freaking out. Like, what are you doing, Joe? He's just like, look at Joe. Go ahead.
He's my younger brother.
Now you get
Messages
from who are these people?
Some are guests of my place. Some are friends. Some are acquaintances.
All right.
Some are people.
And they tell you what? That he's.
They don't tell me anything. They send me links to screen grabs of things that Joe Cumia has said.
Okay, but that he has said, not that his brother has said.
I wouldn't judge a man by something his brother said. I would judge a man by something that he said.
So they sent you. What are the screenshots they sent you?
I have them
by
here.
the way, when are you getting this in relation to the date? The date is going to be on St. Patrick's Day.
It had already passed. It was just several weeks ago.
No, I meant when do you get
we know
contacted by a bunch of people telling you?
It was at the beginning of March, like the 1st and 2nd.
So it was within the 2-week cancellation period.
Prior to the 2-week
cancellation period.
The 2-week window.
So when you get these, you decide I don't want them in my club.
I decide I don't want him in my club. Let me look at this contract more
closely.
It would
be great if this was Opie's brother.
Right, but why didn't you just cancel the way the contract says?
Your place in Huntington, Long Island.
Which is notice must be in writing received through the U.S. Postal Service?
I thought I owed the man a conversation as opposed to just sending something in the mail.
We have Manhattan food at Long Island prices, Spam.
Our rapport over the phone was good.
Good rapport.
I liked them when we first spoke, and musically, I think that their band is great.
Phenomenal.
But,
tell me what comments were brought to your attention. Comments of his or comments of his brother? You say no, certainly not comments
of Joe Cumia.
So show me the comments that were brought to your attention. Were they in writing?
They're screen grabs.
We fire everybody from what
I prefer not to read them.
Can you object yet?
Your Honor, I was once sent to Washington, D.C. because of something that his brother did. And I had to spend 2 years at JFK like an animal.
Yes.
No, interject. I'd like to interject for one moment.
Not usually, but I'll go ahead.
I have a thought fresh in my head.
Oh, well, that's what we have pens for, but go ahead.
Oh, shit.
Screen grabs are, first of all, easily manipulated. Second of all, taken out of context often. And I can answer for each and every one of those. And I can tell you which ones have been taken out of context and which ones are genuine screen grabs and are not.
Attention all Caucasians. If I die while being arrested because I acted like an animal, white people, please don't riot and loot on my account. What was this in reference to?
Nothing.
Do you know the context of this? Not that there's a good one. I'm just trying to understand what it was.
I don't know the context of it.
Do you know?
No, I never wrote that.
Damn, that boy was the size of a shaved silverback ape. And if you squint a little, and this is purportedly, this is a picture of you, and this is coming from your what?
Twitter.
No, it's coming from a hosting site called Imager. Imager is a hosting site wherein anyone can post pretty much anything.
How do you know it's coming from Imager?
I can show you who did it. I can show you the very person that went to Terrence and told him in no uncertain terms, I'm going to get Joe Cumia canceled, and Joe Cumia and his band canceled on St. Patrick's Day. Proudly. This and these are live links right now. I can actually show you. And I have highlighted.
Right. Now, he's one of the many people, according to him, who reached out to him. But now tell me this. How can you show me that person put it on Imager? You can't do that. What makes you, other than the fact that he was proud to have reported it?
There's an online community of people. I didn't want to bring up Reddit. I really didn't want to bring them up because they've done nothing but give me a problem. It started about a year ago.
You know what? Don't even.
I'm sorry.
I don't want you to have
I don't want to get long-winded.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So now I'm reading these comments, and you're reading these comments, and they're abysmal. So what do you decide you're going to do?
As you know, if you know anything about my brother's old show, they used to gang up on other radio shows. They did some pretty abysmal things. I mean, they did things that were entertaining while on the air. That's what got them their ratings. That's what got Anthony, made Anthony as famous and Opie as famous as they were. But these people are still around. They still hang around. They're basically on.
Is he talking about O&A? Is he talking about O&A? First of all, Joe, why are you dragging Ant through with this?
I know.
My brother did some disgusting, horrible things.
I have a list here of all the things he's done, actually.
Quite frankly, he's the Nazi white supremacist, not me. This fucking thing, for me to see this on TV, I feel like I'm crazy.
It feels really weird.
It feels crazy. There's a site called Full Blown AIDS. Generally really good people. Way better than Whackbag. But in this case, Your Honor, and I have found out exactly what happened there. Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's fucking crazy to
It's
hear.
the most uncomfortable thing I've ever...
Anthony keeps getting brought up.
Oh, my God.
I don't know why. My brother... well, let's just play some of it.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So I'm just
Harvey Levin still does the show.
I didn't realize that.
Somebody made racist comments that a band you hired outside the club, and then 2 weeks later they're about to perform. Can you say to them, contract's over, I don't want you in?
I would say yes. You could say the contract's over.
Because it's that bad?
Yes.
You agree?
I agree.
Even though there's nothing in the contract that says anything about it?
I agree. I'd do the same thing.
Okay, but can you do it and not get sued for the performance fee that the person has?
Well, you're the lawyer, Harvey.
I would hope that they wouldn't let them play, but...
Harvey, being a white supremacist, I thought it'd be great.
Think about it. Think about it.
I have to admit, Harvey, a couple of the tweets kind of made me giggle.
I can't have him as a welcome
I don't
guest.
blame you. But now here's the thing. There's a contract that says how this is supposed to go down, and you don't follow what's in the contract.
Why are you yelling?
I don't want him at your club. If he said that, I don't want him at your club if there's somebody who says he said that. The whole thing's too controversial.
That's bad.
Right? But then it's so simple. Why don't you just do what it is that it says there? Now, without a doubt, you were informed by him before the 2 weeks. You were actually informed by him on the phone. You don't deny that. You were informed by him, we're canceling you, correct?
That's correct.
And I contacted him in writing the day before, just so that it was before that 2 week window. By email.
He also told me that he was going to show up and have a conversation with me face to face so he could get to know me and we could sit down and talk like human beings, and he can make his determination then whether or not I seem like a racist, misogynist, pedophile, Nazi, white supremacist, card-carrying, violent guy. That's really what it comes down to. Instead, he took the word.
Why would this guy have something against you to make up that you said these things so similar to the things your brother said?
It's not just one guy. If you'd be kind enough to take a look, it's an online community of people that used to be known as pests, Opie and Anthony pests. As you know, if you know anything about my brother's old show, they used to gang up on other radio shows. They did some pretty abysmal things. I mean, they did things that were entertaining while on the air. That's what got them their ratings. That's what got made Anthony as famous and Opie as famous as they were. But these people are still around. They still hang around. They're basically online terrorists. They want to have anything to do with affecting my life and my brother's life. My brother.
Why would they have anything against you just because you're your brother's brother? I mean,
yes, that's why. That's why.
That's a little bit far-fetched. It's a little bit far-fetched. But now, so you end up...
Your Honor, Black Girl, Hard Rock Johnny was there, Eddie Trunk. I mean, it got pretty... Fezin actually ended up having several heart attacks by the end of it. And they would count his words and then call up and say how many words he said over the course of the show. Some days it was only 2 or 3. How could no one, Joe? Here's your problem. No one understands. I mean,
the more you explain, I feel like
I don't know. Did you see Fight Club? Well, it's kind of like Fight Club, but it was radio and nobody was fighting. They were just calling other people, and they're online terrorists right now. Let's go.
So you end up sending an email when?
Yeah, that's on March 2nd, the day that I called him.
Within the...
Prior to. Yeah,
the
day
2 week
before.
period. I am going to assume, for the purposes of our discussion, that he said every single last thing. And then I'm going to analyze it legally. So the question that I have and that I have to analyze here is it sufficient when a contract specifically calls for cancellation through the U.S. mail to turn around and cancel in a different way?
One more thing.
Okay.
My sister, Donnie, married a guy who oddly looks somewhat like Opie, and he was given the nickname Fat Opie, which Opie didn't like at all because he didn't want anybody to think, it was him that they were talking about. But no, I'm just going to wrap this up in a couple more words. So then Big A was stealing some edibles, which he said that he didn't do, but he was caught on tape doing it. And Stalker Patty. Your Honor. That's all. And there was a guy with half a face. Let's play it.
All you have to do is have postmarked something, and I would always send it certified return receipt requested or just something so that you have a picture of the postmark and everything's kosher. But you don't, and you send them the email. And the question that I have to answer is that sufficient? Does your email do it, or does the law require the way the contract says? And I looked at this research before coming up here because I got to tell you, I think, if you're concerned that he's making these horribly racist comments, you should cancel him. But that's not the question that I have. Were you right in doing it? Being a racist is not a reason for cancellation of a contract.
Tell that to my brother.
Can enter if you did say it, racists can enter contracts. They can. Sure. And they're still legally binding.
Sure I can.
So, and that's one of the beautiful things about this place.
How's
that's
that
what makes us different than other nations.
Your Honor, your idea is that makes us different from the blacks and the Hispanics.
Of being as racist as you want, and you're
Thank
not going
you,
to go to
Your Honor. You should come to Thanksgiving then, when me and my brother get on a roll.
Is it beautiful, Your Honor?
It's fantastic.
for it. You have the freedom of speech of being a complete jerk if you want to be. And then I have the freedom to never have anything to do with you. So you have to do the things according to the way the contract says. I think that if you're getting grief as a club owner from people about something like this, you absolutely did the right thing. I just wish you'd done it the right way. You understand what I'm saying? I hope you're not lying under oath today. You know what? I just hope that you're not lying under oath today.
You just won. You just won, Joe.
Because then I could feel better about what I'm about to do. Because if you are lying under oath and I'm still doing this, I still know that it's the right thing. It's still the thing I have to do, but it'll leave a sour taste in my mouth. My verdict is for the plaintiff and the amount of the remainder of the contract, $2,300.
Well, the judge's hands were tied by the law, so she finds for the plaintiff. He gets the $2,300 back. You know, what's a shame? The cost of a postage stamp could have saved you $2,300.
I haven't bought stamps since online banking started, so, you know.
I know, but
Then
I mean,
change
that's
your
the case.
contract, you idiot, and said email.
Simply, a postage stamp could have done it.
Yeah.
I think you've learned a valuable lesson.
Sure.
I can't believe
Sorry,
you're still
but-
alive, sir, after all these years.
But that's the law, sir. Okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nelson. That's the door. Here comes Mr. Camilla. Well, I guess you must feel pretty good right now, then.
I do and I don't. I have to say that I was a little bit. I'm happy that Mr. Nelson has to pay me, but I'm a little bit unhappy that Judge Millian didn't allow me to delve a little more deeply into the accusations of racism, misogyny, pedophilia, and everything else that goes.
That really wasn't the issue
I know
facing
it
her.
wasn't,
You know,
but
she
the
didn't
thing
have
is,
to.
the thing is, I understand that.
It's terrible what you're going through. I understand.
Doing everything I can to combat
You're also
it.
a supremacist.
There's very little recourse, America. Be very careful. Very
Okay.
careful.
How?
All righty. Well, look, good luck. Okay.
All right, thanks
Thank
so
you
much.
very much.
All right,
Okay.
have a great
Thank
day.
you, ma'am. Harvey, very interesting lesson here. What do you think?
Well, I mean, this is a tough one, Doug. The only way, really, the defendant could cancel is if the plaintiff actually made the comments and in some way it was inciting some kind of violence. Now, we'll do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Oh my God, that's surreal.
Was that crazy?
It's very weird.
That was fucking nuts.
He just continued to bring up the accusations even afterwards, particularly the pedophilia. Stop saying it.
Your Honor, I have brought half Hulk face here to let everybody know. Nick, what's up, buddy?
Your Honor, please, just to get my point across, I'd like to bring comedian Joe DeRosa to the stand.
Joe DeRosa recently became friends with my brother again after flipping out a little earlier on, and now he's back to doing the show. I would like to call to the stand fake Bono, so that we really are in the name of love. And we sang a song about Martin Luther King, changed some of the words, and it became very funny. Johnny, what's up, buddy?
That was the greatest thing I've ever watched. I wish I could have watched it with the live commentary as you guys did. It is so cringy that he just wouldn't stop. He just couldn't help himself. And if you take a peek, and I'm not going to say what it is, but on Joe's Facebook page, there's some amazing pictures he posted of the judge that are out there. You just look up the judge and see what pops up, and those are all over Joe's.
By the way,
Facebook
has that
page.
judge been there a while?
Yeah,
I don't know her.
She's no judge. She's a lefty Hollywood failed actress, is what I'm reading on someone's page. I don't know whose page that would be, but somebody who was involved in this case.
All right, so you don't want to say it's Joe? Why do you just have pictures of her? I want to see Joe's page.
I'm grabbing it.
I'm looking at it.
I wish
Instead, I
the
just
other
see a
guy
bunch
would've
of
just-
pictures of chicks that he was looking at.
The other guy should just. I'd like to submit for evidence this copy of these 5 songs that Joe did. You just pull out any 5 of the random songs that they did over time. Particularly the Earl song would be good.
What was? Can't think there was a Christmas song that was so fucking funny to me.
Wasn't it about
police got my car?
Yeah, the police got my car.
Police got my car. What are we looking at, Chris? Tell me about it.
All right, so this is a post about the judge, Marilyn Milian.
Can I see it up here, or what do I got to do
Yeah,
to
I'll put it up
be
there.
able to view stuff? I keep looking at the word Samsung every day. Vito, let's set this up in the morning like rock and roll stars, okay? Oh, there's a TV show going on. Now that's her?
That's her, yeah.
Why are her tits out and why are there mustaches on it?
I believe that was his Photoshops.
By the way,
I like the glasses.
You can see that was liked by Fat Opie. What beach was she at?
That I can't.
So he's still mad at her, huh?
Barely a topless one, but
he's still mad.
It seems like it. He won. He won the money. Why was he? I
Yeah,
don't know why
people
he's so
don't
upset.
realize that the only thing that the court has to do is to figure out whether the contract. See if there's other stuff up, Chris. The see not just that, but see if there's other posts about it. You know, like we're all involved. This came down to one thing: whether or not you sent that letter in the mail.
Right.
Calling somebody or emailing has nothing to do with it, because that's what's said in the contract. If it's in the contract, hey, if we're going to break this off, email me.
This was the only post they made after the appearance.
She's no judge. She's a tit-showing lefty Hollywood failed actress.
She's at a beach and she just gave you $2,000.
As judges go, she sucks. So here you go. More titty pics of pigeon-toed, chubsy-wubsy judge Marilyn. Now, isn't this some kind of online terroristic stuff that you're doing? Oh, God. All right. Well, anyway, it happened. Off we go. Our lives are always so damn surreal around here. Thanks, Jenny. Have a
Later,
great weekend. Peace. I was out with Aunt at the stand last night and just brought him up, and me and him just fucked around on stage, literally doing nothing, just having fun. And the owners of the stand are just thrilled. Just like, you fucking two guys there. Just really sweet. And you think, well, we did next to nothing. But Ann has such natural timing on stage. Natural. Just natural timing.
Did he enjoy it?
He said he did. I don't know whether he did or not. I mean, he's got a big fucking radio network. What's he give a shit about jumping on stage for a minute? You know? But he was great. You know, and like I said, we didn't push, we didn't plan anything, we just walked on stage, which I know a lot of comedians has been doing this for a lot of years, that just wouldn't walk on stage and start talking. Because it's a dumb idea. It's really not. Like, it's proven that it's not a smart thing to do. But he was terrific. He was just great. He's the exact opposite of Chris Stanley. I don't know what that, like Chris could prepare forever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, we got the big Thanksgiving show up.
Yes.
And I remember when I first met Chris, he was running a game show for me. He was an intern. And I said, look, we're going to have a buzzer, blah, blah, blah. By the way, can we get buzzers like that people can actually
Like a
ring
game
in?
show buzzer? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we get those, yeah.
Let's talk about that later in the big meeting. And by big meeting, I mean you and the other people. I'll be home. And then you send me a small email about how it went.
2 lines at most, max.
Really good.
Or just have that little speakerphone with me yelling, Chris, we're not doing that.
Yes, boss.
Chris, get your face closer to the speaker so I'm screaming in your face.
I'm right there, sir.
Could someone blow cigar smoke in his face to let him know how unhappy I am with him right now?
It's smoking here.
So Chris was going to run, you know, like if it's correct, he hits the correct bell.
Mm-hmm.
If it's incorrect, he hits the incorrect bell. That's it, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, it was match game.
So he keeps hitting the wrong stuff, and I'm looking over at him. Like, people are laughing and making fun of him, and he's kind of smiling along, and I look over and I go, seriously, stop. You know, stop trying to steal the fucking game away from my players.
Right.
And just do the thing. And I mean, I've known him barely. Like, I don't even know if I knew that your name was Chris.
It was like maybe a month and a half or something.
I was still probably calling him Kid. Then finally I turn around, I'm fucking pissed. And I see his head rolling around, and he's like going to faint. He's got crazy flop sweat, and he starts to faint on stage. I'm go, you okay? What the fuck is going on with you? And he goes like this, I don't know. Like, he's not making sense. And I didn't know it at the time, but he had never been in front of an audience.
Never.
Wow.
And was feeling...
And it was packed. It was
like,
fucking totally...
Yeah. You were feeling the intense pressure of having to hit ping or ant. That's all you had to do.
That's it. Yeah.
But you'd never been in front of an audience before?
Never. That was.
And you were having stage fright?
Oh yeah. Oh, serious stage fright. Yeah. It was not good. And then I'm fucking hitting the wrong buttons. I was like, ugh, this is going badly. I'm fucking ruining this.
Well, you were. You were.
I was.
And I got, really great comics on stage.
Right.
And it's a wedding, actually, right? Was that the wedding?
That was the wedding, yes.
Wow, God. So, when did the stage fright hit you?
I think first of all, when I came out to work that fucking the 360 or whatever, and I was like, oh shit, and looking out at the crowd, shit, there's a lot of fucking people here.
And I mean, it never been your dream to perform in front of people at that time.
Yeah,
right.
And it was, and fucking like, oh god.
Now this is what happens to people like me. Is like we don't realize. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's a big deal.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like sometimes like a guy, he'd drive in an airplane for a living, and then someone else say, I'm freaking out. And he's like, what are you talking about? We're in an airplane. We couldn't be safer, But it's, dude, it goes to show you there's nothing real about most of the things that we worry about. Isn't that weird when you think about it?
And then you spend all this time like worrying about it and like thinking about it and focusing on it. And then when it happens, like, all right, okay, it's not that bad. You're doing it. But then, sometimes.
Whenever there's something that you're stressing about that's coming up, and then that thing just ends in a blink of an eye, and then you're just like, what's my next thing to worry about? Instead of just going, taking a moment to go, hey, you survived that thing that you dreaded for 2 weeks straight, and you thought it was going to go bad, and it didn't go bad. you just completely move on to the next thing you're horrified about.
There was this great Louis thing where he's on a plane and he's freaking out because they're in bad weather, and then he and the guy next to him were screaming and hugging each other and holding on to each other, and then just the next shot is them walking bored through the airport. Like, you literally think you're going to die, and then seconds later it's like you gotta wait for your bag. And that is so that fucking scene never leaves me, because how ridiculously funny that is.
Yeah, and he's like, good flight, and then just walk away, never see each other again. Fucking so funny.
And that's how you were feeling. But the whole other thing is, like, there's never been a show in history where people are focusing on the guy who's hitting the buzzer.
Nope.
Nobody even knew you were there.
No, I was just like off to the fucking side. I was like fucking probably behind something, behind the fucking curtain.
The only reason that there was any attention of you at all is because you couldn't tell the difference between right and wrong.
I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. It's fucking, to this day, it's just fucking cringy thinking about that fucking thing.
And I remember saying to Fez, I'm like, does that kid has no technical skills whatsoever? And like, literally, like, instead of like getting mad at Chris, I was saying, who fucking gave that idiot the fucking bell and buzzer? Let's not fuck up like that again. Never trust that kid.
He's out.
What? I'm sorry.
I don't even know why he came back after that, if I'm going to be totally honest.
Stick-to-itiveness. I got no place else to go.
Oh,
he's like
Chris.
Mayo. He's our Mayo.
Why would you say that?
It's true. He had no place else to go.
Nope.
What were you doing? Just fucking data?
I was doing data entry for a dental company. It's like, so this so typing people's names. Oh, this person got their fucking wisdom teeth out. This guy got fucking enamel and shit. And like, there's like every procedure for a dental, anything to do with the teeth, there's a code. So I didn't know all these codes.
And what do you do? Why? What value did you bring to the company?
I guess I put them into the system, into their big database, and they were like a middleman between an insurance company, so they just had a bunch of data.
So they weren't in the computer before?
No, they weren't. So like, people would fill out the forms at the dentist, they send to them, and they fucking go through all the forms, put all the information in the forms into digitally.
So you were like the thing that stopped chaos.
Basically.
Yeah.
Right.
They needed me. They fucking needed me.
But you didn't like that job.
It was just like mind numbing. It was just like typing all day long.
How high were the stakes? So if you put in the wrong code,
like
what kind of trouble?
If you put in the wrong fucking tooth.
Right.
Like, Chris, what the fuck was this? This was a goddamn C5 or whatever. I don't know what the fuck they call them teeth anymore. Like number 27. They're all numbered.
All right, we got to break here. Hey, we've got a big show coming up next Thursday. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That's Unmasked with Pamela Adlon. It's happening Thursday, September 21st at 5 p.m. at the Village Underground in New York City. You go to the ibang.com for free tickets.
All right, we'll break, come back, Bennington. And here's some exciting news. You can hear Gail Bennington tonight. Tell them where and when.
I am going to be on the Nick DiPaolo show tonight.
Ooh.
Yes. His show is 8 p.m. on Faction.
Faction Talk 103.
You know what you're doing, or?
I'm just going to go hang out with my buddy. It's been a while since we've seen him, since he's been on later.
Yeah, we used to run into him all the time, and then he moved his show, and I don't think I've seen him since then. But I asked if I could come in and do the show sometime, and you got bumped.
I know. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, I know how it happened. You snaked me. As
I
they say
did
in the
not.
business.
I was approached.
Yeah, I know. That still hurts. You know what I mean? You know what it's like? It's like if you, like, you're saying to your buddy, like, oh, man, I like that girl over there. I'm going to go over and talk to her. Should I talk to her? And then she walks over and just starts talking to your buddy. And that's like the worst thing that can happen to you. And you immediately hate both of them. Now, you're doing the Friday show. He always takes his Friday guests back to his home to spend the weekend in the country. It's a beautiful country home that he has.
I didn't realize.
Yeah.
This is a perfect booking.
And there's always barbecues. Bobby Kelly will come by.
Oh my God, this
Joe
is amazing.
List keeps his car that he works in the Nick's garage. And, you know, he bought an old junker that he and Nick had taken their time fixing up.
They're close.
Yeah, well, it's fun. It's fun to have a project. Are you okay, buddy? You are scratching the hell out of your arms and head at the same time.
Oh my gosh, it's raw on your arm. It's like really red.
Sounds like somebody doesn't have any sheets on his bed. He says, believe it or not, I normally sleep without sheets.
I believe it.
If you told me you just had a mattress laying on the floor, I'd believe it. Not even a box spring underneath of it.
Vito, however, cuddling with his sweet bear Chet.
I know. He wakes up with his mom spooning lasagna into his mouth every morning.
She's good to you.
Breakfast lasagna.
And some for Chet, please. Chet loves lasagna.
Tummy filled with yummy.
All right, Chris. That doesn't even make sense. Vito thinks he came up with a funny name because he calls it Teddy Bear.
Oh, that's cute. Come on. Really? He's creative.
Yeah, he is. Chris, you're telling me you're worried about the NFL. You think the NFL is starting to lose out because no one shows up at games.
Hell no.
I had on the Niners game for a little bit last week, and empty seats wherever you look. Empty seats.
I think. All right. So the Niners are fucking empty. Chargers empty.
Yes, of course they are.
And the Rams. Like seems like the West Coast teams are just fucked.
Well, it's not that they're fucked. It's just that there's so much more to do than go watch a team stink.
Well, you've said that about Florida. Why?
Florida shouldn't even have teams.
Yeah. It's too warm.
Right
and
now they
everyone
don't
has
even
boats.
have, right now they don't even have electricity. That's the problem with Florida.
And now NFL spokesmen are having to come around and say, yes, this is concerning to us, and we have to look into why people aren't coming in the
Concerning or disconcerting?
Concerning. They said concerning.
Interesting. They said it the wrong way. Idiots.
Stupid spokesman.
Yeah. Spokesperson.
Excuse me, spokesperson.
Oh my God. What a sexist.
Stop using your penis as a weapon. Use it what it's supposed to be made for, is spreading urine out. By the way, Gail put up a thing on the iBank today that the dog loves rubber duckies more than anything, that you love anything. If you like, the only reason they'll like dogs is how stupid they are. Even when we say they're smart, they're still stupid. But you actually see the look on that dog's face when he gets the best thing. And man, I was fucking cracking up.
Oh my God. I have to also say that I watched this video at home and my dog was going crazy trying to figure out which one of her toys is making these squeaks.
Oh, is that right?
She was going nuts.
Your dog is funny because all I have to do is act like I want one of her toys for her to want it more
Yes,
than anything.
exactly. If you pick it up and go, this is my baby now.
She takes
She's
it
like,
back and I go, you realize I was feeding you the whole time that Gail was away. The other thing that buzzed me about your dog, never says goodbye. Never acts like I'm leaving.
No. Hello, she understands.
Hello, she's crazy about.
Yeah, she's a big fan of hello. Goodbye, not a concept.
She
for
loves
her.
the buzzer on my door.
Yeah.
Because she always thinks that it's Gail. And she'll just run. It's so happy. So sometimes I'll just leave and come back and make her run down the hall. Just like I'll hit the buzzer and she'll act like she just saw me again and run to me. And then we go in the house and then I go back out and do the same bit and she'll run back out again. And she runs back in to let everybody know that I'm here. She's so stupid.
So you have a buzzer in your apartment building?
My apartment building.
What's an apartment building?
An apartment building. You have a buzzer in your apartment building. I'm
Yes, and I have doors and windows.
Great.
And,
All right.
Yeah, there it is. The happiness of the giant thing. You got to go see it.
He gets so excited that he completely loses control. And I like that he has like a little brother in the background.
And the
like,
brother doesn't
Jesus
says, this
Christ,
is not a
this
good
is
idea.
Nuts! I'm getting out of here. This part.
You got a buzzer in your apartment building? Hey, Vito, you got a buzzer in your apartment building? Buzzer in your apartment building. Which apartment?
Buzzer in your apartment building.
Ew, it's like even grosser when he says it again.
Buzzer in your apartment building.
I come back from Paris, France.
Oh.
To my apartment building. And I go into the lobby, and all the buzzers are gone, and there's just a fucking camera and a screen videotaping me, and now there's no more buzzers in the apartment building.
That's terrible.
Now I have to download an app, and anytime anyone fucking buzzes into my fucking apartment, I get a phone call, and does it say, "Do you want to answer the phone? Do you want to open the door?" And then there's a live stream video of my fucking lobby.
Dude, we have sold these on this show for years.
But
why
that's
is this
for homes, not my apartment building?
Your apartment building is a home.
Are you too good for your home?
No, just say for a young lady or elderly woman living in your apartment building. Now she can look down and go, "Oh my God, that's not a UPS guy. It's a gangbanger with the Bloods and/or Crips," and feel safe. What is your problem with this though? It seems like it's a step up.
It seems like it is, but it isn't. Like I want
How isn't it?
I want the video camera thing in the apartment. I don't want it fucking connected to my phone. So now I'm getting phone calls. Oh wait, no, someone's at my front door. Fuck that shit.
I don't understand where the discomfort comes from.
Because I never have my phone, like the ringer on, so I'm not going to know when people are buzzing in my fucking apartment building.
Including, by the way, people you work with or your boss, which is why Wiki always has a giant problem with you. And we can speak freely because he's flying to London right now to see a football game that he could watch on TV.
He loves the Ravens.
But why don't you have your thing turned on so he can contact you?
I don't think a lot of people have their phones on at all. I think people keep their fucking phones on silent is what I'm trying to say.
Hi.
I think most people keep their phones on silent. And it's rude to have your phone going off constantly.
James, Queens.
Hey, how you doing, Bennington?
Good.
Every time Chris mentions that he was in Paris, France, I get this big sigh from all you guys, and I think all your listeners feel the same way, so I put up a little bit of a solution you might want to use.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Put a jar on your desk, and every time he says it, make him put $20, $40, $50 in the jar.
Let me tell you something.
Let's go with 50.
You got to understand,
Yeah.
we had a curse jar, and he stole from it. I can't put cash out around him.
We're not putting out a Paris, France jar.
Here's the two things that I can do. Either keep cash out or fire Chris. I can't have both. He just doesn't have the ability to do that.
I mean, and once you prove that he's a known thief, you got to fire him. Then no one can trust you.
I don't think there's no need for jars.
Just stop bringing up Barris Brants in your apartment building.
All right, Barris Brants is going to come up when it has to come up.
Barry, South Jersey.
Ronnie, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. You know, it's a Friday.
Yeah, right. Your boy Wentz, the Eagles, you got to check out this Hoskins kid from Phillies. He's been lighting them up.
But why would you bring up Wentz and the Eagles?
Oh, because that's probably what you're more concerned about. You got to check out this Hoskins on this new.
Yeah, I know, but the Phil season's over right now. I mean, by the way, are you getting what's his name coming up here to Queens? Are you going to get your big AAA or AA ball player? Jesus?
Oh, I don't think so. I know he's played a few games in the lower levels with David Wright, and that's the most excitement we've got.
Yeah. They say there's been a spike, though, because he's been in the minor leagues.
Really?
And I'm like, well, let's, fucking keep it going. Put Charlie Sheen in the minor leagues. You know what I mean? Let Trump go in and have a fucking at-bat. I bet the place sells out.
He seems to do well with that kind of stuff.
They said any Trump, other than Eric, is really going to fucking make a difference on that team. I tried to go over to Chris's house, but there was a buzz in his apartment building.
It was terrible, Ron. I couldn't tell if you were down there or what. Oh, and I get emails now of screen caps of people who's fucking.
By the way,
downstairs.
the last person.
Great. I wish I had this.
No, you don't.
The last person that I saw trying to explain why he was upset was Brother Joe. You should go on People's Court about your apartment building.
You judge, there's an apartment building, and they're making me answer my phone to let people
what
in.
it is that, like, when he says it, it's gross to me. It sounds so like your words are so sticky in your mouth.
He said because he thought of a sticky bun.
It's weird.
Hungry.
He's fucking starving. What kind of sticky buns we got back there, Vito?
I think they have honey buns in the vending machine.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Great, a nice cold honey bun.
First of all,
I can't wait.
First of all,
I said sarcasm, Chris.
snack machine baked goods are off the
Ugh, yeah.
off the counter.
I had a buttered roll from there one time.
It's disgusting.
Nasty.
Did you
Joe.
feed it to your fucking teddy bear?
I thought it was cold. I'm not gonna lie. I had it more than once. I didn't hate it too much.
I don't know why you've struggled with weight problems.
I even had the White Castle microwavable burgers from there once.
God, man.
Jesus. I like White Castle. I won't fucking touch those things.
It's the same thing as the restaurant.
I'm gonna
Shut
be
up.
honest. Vito's probably right.
No.
I
he's
mean,
not,
all
Gail.
they're doing are microwaving those burgers anyway. It's probably the
I
same
did have the
quality.
convenience of it at home and at CVS at 3 a.m.
They're fresh grilled.
I saw you fall asleep when you were used to Periscope. Saw you fall asleep on 2 cases of those fucking things. It was horrifying.
Till 4 a.m, pounding cheeseburgers and beers.
Hey, send Jen in. Let's dish a little bit.
Put on your headphones, Jen's got the news. Let's dish to the gossip they're saying on the radio.
Oh, I didn't know that Trevor Noah was resigned.
Yeah.
Is that going to be in your dish?
Yes, it can be.
I didn't know that.
He's been signed to until 2022.
And everybody was predicting he'd get fired. Early on, remember when he first started?
Absolutely.
I was like, he's going to get fired. No, he's fucking rehired.
He's hot as fire. You know what I mean? Maybe that's where they were confused.
I didn't even know about that. I just saw it on the iBang. Congratulations, Trev.
Yes, I'm excited about that.
What do you got for us dish-wise?
Oh, well, Selena Gomez. Everybody was talking about why she went missing during the summertime, and she finally came out on her Instagram and said why she was missing, and it's because she got a kidney donated from her best friend because, you know, she has the lupus disease.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, she's been gone for a while because she did the kidney surgery.
Let me ask you guys this. Do you have anybody that's a friend, not family, any friend that you would give a kidney to? Chrissy, let's go to you first.
Oh, I give a kidney to you, Ron Bennington.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Then I want it, and I'm just going to keep it in a jar on my desk.
Just in case. You already offered, Chris. You can't take that
I'm
back.
going to call that his loyalty jar. What about you, Gail?
Oh, yeah. I have friends I would give a kidney to, and I would feel very good about myself. It's not that selfless of an act, because I know I would be walking around like, I get a fucking kidney.
I know, that'd be
My
nice.
friend.
Vito, you?
Yeah, I'll give a kidney to anybody. I don't care. Like, just ask me for a kidney. I'll give it.
All right, I got a kidney jar going right now. I'm going to stuff another one in there. And
Anytime Chris brings up Paris, France,
Yeah.
you have to give a kidney.
Oh, God.
kidney jar. Let's say it's just an organ jar. It's some kind of internal organ. You won't know which one until you wake up. Because you go under. You're like, ooh, having a hard time breathing. Yeah, we took a lung.
Oh, shit.
But I kind of agree with all you guys that when you take a kidney, you look like a creep to me. You know what I mean? Like I needed a person's healthy kidney. But when you give a kidney, wonderful person.
Now look at how sweet this picture is of the
really
two of them holding hands.
Yeah.
I feel like she did it for her career, the girl who gave the kidney over to Selena.
We don't even
Why
know
would
what her career is.
Yeah, we don't know what she does.
I feel like whatever her career is, she's doing better now.
How do you know?
Everyone knows who she is. Everyone knows
That doesn't make your career go well, except if you're in entertainment.
What if she's a kidney model?
He's got you there, Chris.
Fuck.
He's fucking got you there. That's why, like, if we were playing Big Brother at the end of it, if you two were in the... Everyone's voting for Vito.
100%.
Better social game.
I know.
You can't take him to the end.
Oh, God, no.
Who could you take
He can't take himself to his
I'm
end.
too abrasive.
If he was sitting there by himself at the end, he still wouldn't win. I'd give it to an audience member. I'd go, that guy over there with the fucking funny hat. He gets my vote. Yeah, that is a beautiful picture.
one of the internet trolls, like a lot of people were talking
I don't
about.
like them. The ones that are after Brother
They were-
Joe.
They were upset also because Justin Bieber had just found out with everybody else about her getting this kidney.
Yeah.
And they felt like he should have known, even though he's her ex-boyfriend, he should have known beforehand that she was going
Are
through
they
a
blaming
surgery.
her or him?
They're blaming her for not telling Justin.
Yeah, I would very rarely give exes a call and tell them what
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
doing
know
with my
why you would
kidneys.
have. That's kind
Listen, I know we haven't gone out in a while, but I'm getting a kidney from Vito. No, it's not that big a deal. He'd give it to anybody. That's just his way. I don't know. I'm worried about the size of it. I don't know whether it's going to fit in there. He's a big guy. Just see it. Looks like somebody has a pillow. Just. But you like have a fanny pack? No, I got a new kidney from.
So big though.
Yeah, I know. It's giant. All of his organs.
Size his kidney. Just tailor it, please.
What do you use your kidney for anyway?
Filtering impurities
That's the liver.
in your. Oh.
That's the liver.
I think
sure?
it's connected somehow with the liver. I know because
You
like,
know,
It's all connected
I thought
in there.
that kidneys filter impurities that has to do with toxins with urine or something.
someone
I thought that was
diabetes.
the liver, was the filterer.
I think there might be a couple different filtration systems.
Not just the one.
All right, hold on. They filter 120 to 150 quarts of blood to produce about 1 or 2 quarts of urine. Wow. So they filter the piss out of the urine. Both kidneys. I didn't even know that we pissed a quart or 2. Well, Chris is probably going a good half gallon.
Oh yeah, sometimes just the amount of piss is.
I
very
saw
surprising.
his piss one day, and it's maroon. It's
Oh.
actually, is that healthy?
I
Does he
know.
have maroon
No.
piss?
I think it means
Yeah.
I'm dehydrated.
Don't take that kidney.
Yeah.
That is one shabby kidney.
He pissed out a house key. Is that bad?
How did you pass that?
Burned.
No problem at all.
He's a very wide pee hole.
Yeah, he does. Well, he's always putting stuff in there.
So he uses that knife where he sticks it in
Yeah.
his ear and then immediately into the pee hole, Chris.
Oh, God.
What?
And
You
he's
do
always
it?
docking. What's your online name? Is Donnie Dockin, right?
It's Danny Docket 454.
454.
Yeah, there's a lot of Danny Dockins out there.
Yeah.
It's a big community, Ron.
You didn't try every number until you got to 454. All right, so what we're saying is Selena Gomez, congratulations.
On your kidney.
Yeah.
And it's your best friend.
If she was my friend, I'd just call her Mez, by the way.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. And then if I was mad at her, I'd go, go, Mez, go. That would be our thing.
That's cute.
And then she'd look at me like, I can't stay mad at you. And I go, give me the kidney back. Fuck you, bitch. I want my kidney back. What if this girl just rendered her the kidney and she has to pay her every month?
She's got it. She's got the cash.
From what, though?
I think she's a singer or
she's,
actress.
She's the most followed person on Instagram, too.
I know, but at some point you get... Is that right?
The most followed, yeah. More than I was surprised, too, but yeah, more than Kardashians.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would have thought for sure that would have
some
been a
people,
Kardashian role.
Kardashians focus on Twitter and
Yeah.
Snapchat or whatever. I used to have some of those things on my phone. And they're gone now, and I don't even look at it. Sometimes I would just be bored and look at stupid Snapchats. Forgot all about it.
Yeah. It's over.
Then, but I remember when I did do it, I thought everyone saw Snapchats. I was like, hey, did you see the Snapchat today? It was really funny.
Well, like those Insta stories, they've really,
Yeah.
that was really the end for Snapchat.
Yeah, pushing Snapchat out hard.
Now you got your own Snapchat in your Instagram.
You got filters and whatnot.
Yeah,
I
whatnot.
I got my phone upgraded, and the guy said like this, why do you only have 2 apps? Do I need a lot of them?
Email at
Yeah.
least you should have on here.
I don't even have MapQuest. I just still carry a map around like Elvis. I carry a globe around with me trying to figure it out. Now, where's your house at? All right, let's get back. I mean, we just fucking around too much. We got to dish more.
Well, this is like a heartbreaking
Oh, no.
story. Josh Duhamel and Fergie have announced that they're getting a divorce after 8 years of marriage.
Josh Duhamel.
Duhamel.
Okay, easy, dude. You know
I
what?
really like the guy.
What's
He's
he
from
been in?
Transformers. He's an actor in Transformers, and of course Fergie.
Oh, wait. I
Right.
saw a movie that he was in the other day that was so bad I couldn't turn it off. It was about a girl in Kentucky who wins a dream date with an actor, and it's him.
Win a date with Tad Hamilton?
Thank you very much. And it was, she worked at the Piggly Wiggly, and she was like some kind of person that doesn't exist anymore. Like, just like, he's the nicest, because he could never act like that. He's, of course, like a sleazy actor,
Mhm.
and then, you know, they fall in love, but are they right for each other? And I'm trying to get to sleep, and I'd love to put on a boring movie.
Yeah.
But then I'm going like this. I wonder if they will, you know, find each other. I don't know. I mean, and so, you loved it, Vito?
Yeah, I'm a big chick flick fan, connoisseur of them.
Yeah, but this isn't one of the good ones, is it? I don't even.
I don't think any. I don't really look at any of them as one of the good ones. I like the genre for what it is.
I don't know what to say back to you then. I mean, if you say I like something, but I don't rate what's good and what isn't, then I don't believe that you like it. You know what I mean? Like, even people who like metal, they're like, here's good metal and here's bad metal.
Right, that's
they don't
true.
go, I don't believe there's such a thing as good or bad metal.
You
It's just
know?
all metal.
If
Anyway.
you have a metal band, I like you.
So, Fergie from Black Eyed Peas, they were
Yep. Yeah.
together for how long?
8 years.
Wow.
Yeah, they have one baby boy together.
Who gets it?
That's the question.
Good job. Fergie's got to focus on that
Fergie-
career.
I just heard from
Josh
Josh.
had a career.
I just heard from Josh he doesn't want it.
That was quick.
No fucking guy should get the baby over a girl unless she's out of fucking control.
Unless she's the worst
Here's
ever.
here's the thing, and there's this big lawsuit going on in Silicon Valley now. Google got hammered because women aren't getting paid as much as men, and they don't move up. And the reason always comes back to motherhood, because women, if they work 12 hours in a row, they feel guilty. And if a man works 12 hours in a row, he feels great. He's like, I'm helping my family. I love my family so much I don't even see them. That's how much. And the father will say that to his children. You don't know, you don't understand what I do to you. I go to that job I love and I just stay there. That's what I fucking do for you. But women will have the guilt feeling
Yes.
like, oh, like I'll give you this because you guys follow Hollywood, right? And you see all the working moms, and you know we're raising the baby on the set. Is that healthy or not? You never hear of a guy taking his kid, his baby, to the set and sitting it there.
Right.
This way I can see the baby during the day. He's like, please take the baby. I got to concentrate. I'm doing a big fucking movie right now about Tad Hamilton. This is going to be really big, Fergie, but you don't fucking get that because you don't care about anything else about the Black Eyed Peas. So yeah, Fergie gets it. That's a very attractive couple, though.
Yes,
they must have
yeah.
a beautiful baby.
It's kind of sad. They were like a celebrity, you know, like a Jennifer Aniston Brad Pitt couple. So it's a little
No,
sad.
And they broke up.
They were
They're not bigger. They're not as big as Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston.
Let me tell you
not
something.
as big, but they were still like a
Fergie
you know,
at her
sweethearts.
peak was
Yeah.
gigantic.
No, I'll say yeah, Fergie.
Tad Hamilton, I can't. You know, he's had a good, solid career.
Tad's the problem. With that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I know, but he has a career that you would admire. If you know what I mean, he's not on Fergie level, but he has a very solid career.
Just because he's not Fergalicious doesn't mean he's not doing well for himself.
Those Transformers, those made a shit ton of money.
Thank you. And fucking guess who's looking down their nose?
Who's that?
You. That's exactly who's looking down his nose.
I am.
Now, having said that, yes, you're right. They're not as big as Brad Pitt and Jennifer
That was
Aniston.
insane.
But
I
they're-
meant in like a sweetheart couple sort of way, you know?
I don't know. I don't know if I get happy for other people that way.
Because they would have interviews together where they would like answer each other's
Making out.
sentences, you know, touching each. It was cute. It was a
Oh,
cute
that is
relationship.
nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Where do you see all this stuff?
Just like YouTube.
Oh, see, I would
you
never
know.
do that. I would never know how to find an interview on YouTube.
People kind of saw it coming because she had like a separate interview and they were asking her questions about her relationship and she wouldn't answer them, and that's why it was kind of weird, you know, because she usually does talk about her relationship.
So they're
and
like,
it's cute
how's
to see.
Josh? And they're just like, huh?
Yeah,
Josh.
she was kind of like ignoring it,
Yeah.
and then this came out. So
Again with the Josh question. All right, gotcha. Well, they'll both land on their genitals. I don't worry about that. Hey, you know how people are always saying what came first, the chicken or the egg beaters?
Kind of. Yeah.
I found out the other day it's chicken. So we don't even have to worry about that anymore. You don't put that in that done pile. Not the dung pile. That's where we put in Chris's ideas. Chris is verbal kit, though. He's the ideal man after today. I'm going to be going there for a lot of shit. That's my thinking, guy. I'm very proud of him today. All right, let's keep dishing.
Well, Ariel Winter, she's
gun.
she's been in the news because she has like a bad relationship with her mom. She hasn't talked to her in 5 years. She was raised by her sister.
She's one of those people with there's a legal term that even when they're a minor, they get
emancipated.
That's it.
Yeah,
she was an emancipated kid.
Yeah, because her mom was crazy. She said that her mom would dress her up like a 24-year-old when she was like 12. And, she sexualized her, she said, as a child. And she said she wouldn't let her befriend other females because they were seen as competition.
For who? The mom or her?
For her. For in her career, yeah.
But she was such a little kid.
I know.
Yeah, that's what's creepy.
But, your mom did get you with a nice family, a modern family.
They really raised you.
What's the mom on Modern Family name?
Julie Bowen.
I love her.
Yeah, me too.
She's maybe my favorite human being right now.
Really?
And I'd like to see her with Ted Hamilton. How can we get them to meet cute? But I missaid it. I said those two meet cunt. And I wish I didn't say it that way. And I go, I just haven't cursed so much today. So she's still blaming her mom even though she hasn't seen her mom.
Yes. Because I guess, everybody talks about how she's, half naked on red carpet. So she's kind of putting the blame on her upbringing.
Now you're an adult.
Yeah. You have a choice.
Put a fucking sweat. By the way, honey, this is the time that you're going to have your body. Go ahead and enjoy it.
Yeah. Have fun with it. I mean, you seem like you are.
Have fun with it. Bang a lot of dudes. I'd like to see her with the new QB for the Rams. That guy, everybody laughed at him when he was a rookie. And now they're fucking. What's his Goff?
Goff, yeah. Jared Goff.
Yeah,
they go great together.
Yeah, they'd be fantastic. They'd be the Hollywood in couple. Because I like people that are from different, backgrounds.
Yeah.
I don't like, we met on the set. That's stupid.
That's not creative.
I like when somebody's just like dating like a blue collar guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is, I'm a movie star. This is my man. He's a fucking carpenter right now. Although, since he started dating me, he hasn't gone to work. He's just fucking hanging out. He's just hanging out at my house. Getting fucking high. All right, let's keep dishing.
Well, Zach Braff, he's from Scrubs. He's in the news right now because he said that he unauthorized being the face of an erectile dysfunction ad in Russia.
So they just put his fucking face on it. On dick pills.
Yeah. And
That's
he had no idea about
hilarious.
it.
Oh my God. So they think that this is a picture of an actual doctor that they would be able to use.
Zach Braff wants you to go get your cock work done. And by the way, Russia, you don't have your own doctors? You got to go across the pond for this? I'm starting to agree with Hillary Clinton right now. They're fucking with us too much.
I feel like Zach Braff put this out and then himself and then acted like surprised, like, oh my God.
Where does that come
from, dude?
Why
How is he going to go
that?
to Russia and buy a billboard? I mean, you got to have some evidence before you come in the room with that
I mean, that's really a stretch, don't you think?
How much do you think a billboard in Russia costs? I bet
Just
next to
what
nothing.
would he get out of it?
Yeah.
What is the reason for this? This looks silly and embarrassing.
It's not the price that would be confusing about that. That's not the part that I wouldn't believe.
Got Scrubs money. That was a huge show.
It's not the money. It's
What
the
does this
why.
benefit him?
I think he wants people to talk about him, and I think this is a very silly thing. It doesn't hurt him.
Can I tell you
It's
something?
funny.
He has done Unmasked twice, and I find him to be nothing but honest and straight up.
Yeah.
To say that he would go to Russia, buy a cock billboard for himself as a way of getting attention, shame on you, Chris Stanley. Shame on you.
I just had this feeling.
And I don't want your filthy kidney near my nose.
Just keep it in the jar, at least.
You got mine right here.
Vito, I'm gonna have to buy a fucking outdoor pool and put it out there, above ground pool. It'll be nothing but straight kidney meat. Would you be mad if you gave your kidney to somebody and they make kidney pie?
Yeah. Yeah, I want them to use it.
I would be upset.
That's Somebody wrote to me, you came up with that chicken or the egg beaters, and nobody on your team laughed. Fuck them.
I laughed.
I'm pretty sure if we play it back, there was laughter.
Do they not have scrubs in Russia?
Yeah, they have scrubs in Russia.
Well, obviously not if they're all falling for that he's a fake doctor.
No one's falling for it because he put it out himself.
Chris, this is so annoying. I really hate this.
There's nothing to hate. You just have to believe it.
There's you.
That's fucking mean.
Anyway, let's get back to the dish.
Well,
Chris, you have a way of taking us off the rails.
I don't want. I want to stay on the rails.
Stop it. Just saying that puts us back off the rails.
Where are the rails even?
Well, it was Naz's birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday, Nas. I'm sorry I forgot. I was very busy. I was at the stand with Ethnic Lumia. I'm going to be there all this weekend, too.
And everybody was like going crazy on Twitter because Nicki Minaj and Nas were on her live stream, and they were like making out and kissing, and so they're like an item right now. And she's supposed to be like the queen of rap, but they're saying right now that she's not because she's feuding with Cardi B.
Yeah,
right
Cardi
now.
B.
What's Cardi B's story?
She was a stripper from the Bronx.
By the way,
And,
do you guys consider a stripper to be a sex worker?
I would, yes.
Wow, I didn't know that. Then I know plenty of sex workers.
I don't consider a
I
stripper a
wouldn't-
sex
yeah.
worker. When I hear sex worker, I think prostitute.
Yeah, but if they were starting a
But
union.
it's in the business of sex, though. Doesn't mean you have to have it.
So a cam girl, sex worker.
Yes.
Okay.
I think so.
Definitely.
Your business is sex. And Cardi B is in the sex business.
No, so would you say that a guy who worked as like a bouncer at a titty bar is in the sex business?
Yes, I would say I wouldn't call him a sex worker, but I think
Okay.
he is in the business of sex.
Right. A director, is that a sex worker?
Yes.
Jesus Christ, I just realized
Wow.
almost my whole fucking shirt is open. I feel like I'm a sex worker. How did that even happen over the course? I know I didn't leave the house that way. And I look down, I got a Tom Jones chest going on.
I think Chris keeps unbuttoning one every
Chris,
time you don't
no,
like.
dude.
I can't help
It's not unusual. Hey, everybody.
But yeah,
Hey,
she
but
was
this has nothing to do. She was a sex worker.
She was a stripper from the Bronx. Then she was on a reality show called Love and Hip Hop.
I'm
And
gonna fully agree that she's the new queen of hip hop.
She has this song called Bodak Yellow. It's like
It's hot fire. It's hot fire.
Is that right?
It's behind Taylor Swift's new song.
Let's hear Bodak Yellow. This is from.
I'm so excited this is happening right
Is
now.
this from the TV show Bodak Horseman? By the way, do any of you guys watch that?
I do not.
You love it?
I love BoJack Horseman.
People scream at me on the street, please watch it. I'm like, I can't. I heard it's depressing.
It is really depressing, but it's a good show.
I don't like when somebody
Make
never
it
wins.
happy.
It makes me sad. All right, this is what? What's the name of this?
Bodak Yellow.
All right, let me just say this. She keeps talking that way. She's not going to have any friends. Okay? There's no I in team. Okay? So she's the new hot thing, huh?
Yes, Jen just introduced me to
And
her.
she knows
very
all the
recently.
words. Like, how do you know? You just heard it like yesterday.
That's because if she listens to something, she listens to it a million times. And then pretend she is that person in the mirror.
She had this really awkward, uncomfortable interview
No,
with
no.
one of the guys from MTV. He's one of the new VJs. And they're both like kind of, they're like, I guess they ratchet.
They're the new TRL guys.
The new TRL, yeah.
So they're ratchet or she is?
She is, and the other black guy, and the white guy is just like very uncomfortable in this video.
All right, let's see it a little bit. Because I like to see ratchet. I like discomfort.
Yeah.
It's MTV. We're hanging out for the VMAs 2017. Eric Zachary, DC Young Fly, Cardi B, who kicked off the entire night during the pre-show.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Incredible.
You know what I'm saying? Thank you now. I just took a little practice. I got it right.
No, she got it perfect. It looked amazing.
How does it feel to be performing the VMAs, man? You being nominated and all this stuff like that.
Yeah.
Tell me how does it feel?
you know, it feels great. It's just like, oh my God, Jesus. Is you playing pranks on me? Why life is going so good right now? Like, what's going on? What type of messed up thing you gonna bring me, Lord?
But look, baby, we gonna play a little game, okay? Now this called Top 3, man. Ask you some questions. You gotta
I
give me
always
your
lose
top
games, but all right.
No, I know you got
Okay,
it.
right.
You know what I mean? I know you got it. Now listen, your favorite artist, musician of this year. Okay, look, your favorite music video of all time.
Let's go. Next question. They're doing touchdown dances up in here.
Okay, who your favorite person to watch on Instagram?
You and me!
Yeah, she included him.
Yes! I love it!
Let's do one last one. So obviously you're putting together a super group, right? Let's say you're doing like the new Destiny's Child. Yourself included. Who are the other two that you're including?
Me and this
I was finna say TLC. I'm so stupid. She don't want no scrub. We lit. Girl, you know I'm so proud of you, man.
And I'm proud of you.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like we come
I
from
feel like the big brother right now.
We
Just,
started
you
off
know.
on Instagram and now we
You know what I'm
can't.
saying?
Because people don't understand.
They don't understand that. Why they be hating? Like, just get your grind on.
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying that I just they don't have what we got.
I feel like I'm moderating The Bachelor right now. All right, Cardi B, DC Young Fly. They're just gonna keep partying. I'm just gonna. We'll see you next time. Bye.
All right. Cardi B. I am calling Cardi B for my death pool. Because I don't know what the fuck she's up to, but that can't last.
You know how we.
And then the other fucking DC Young Fly just fucking jumped into it 100%.
No, here's my
He acted like it was like, yeah, we're all acting like that.
No, he acts like that too. He's
Oh, he
like,
does?
yeah, they're this. That's why it was so funny because they're both like crazy.
If I'm an MTV like executive, I'm going, hey DC, we got Cardi B on the show. Why don't you step off and let her do her thing? Why do you got to be like crazy? You're blocking the camera from the rock star that we're trying to cover. And he's like,
I think he just should interview her by himself, not with the other guy, because the other guy was just like.
No, the other guy should be the only person there to go, hey, look how weird this has gotten. You're not supposed to say our guy is just as weird.
Yeah, Cardi B's the show.
Yeah.
This is the Cardi B show.
She makes money moves.
She make money moves.
At one point, she goes like this. You got buzzers in your apartment? You got a buzzer in your apartment?
You know I do.
Me this motherfucker right here. That's the fucking idiocracy coming clear, man. Mm-hmm. That's the real fucking thing happening in front of us. No one is there to go, excuse me, what? What are you doing?
What did she say?
We're on television right now.
Instead, we've got one kid just going, yes. All right, let's go to another question here. We're going to do one more because this isn't going so well.
They literally stopped doing interviews on MTV because rappers would be on the phone when they were talking to them
all the time.
Yeah, like I'll be a rapper,
right?
And, like you'll be interviewing me.
Okay, so your new album
we
just
here at MTV.
well, your new album just dropped
I think
today,
it's Channel
correct?
26. You know what? Go to 226. Might get the HD.
Yeah. So, can you just tell us a little bit about your album? That
Some
just
bitch asking me about my album just dropped. She's sitting there. She just says, "Excuse me."
We're actually live on the air right now.
Yeah.
So if you could just want to take
Why
maybe
don't you
get off
get some
the phone.
chicken and biscuits? No. Get the 20 piece. They fucking did not care that they were on TV. No. And then you see another guy talking, it would be the two fucking friends together. Yeah, she talking to me too now, man. That was always the funny. I'm like, what else in your life is more important than you just walked out? You're on a national television show.
They didn't care.
No. She asking me a bunch of questions right now about the new album. You know it's blowing up when they ask the questions. Yeah, now she get mad at me. I don't know what about. Oh, these guys. Fucking t-shirt crew just comes in all together. Let's all put on our t-shirts and go to fucking space station.
Everybody got cheese on?
That used to be like Eminem's uniform, right? The white tee and jeans.
Yeah.
All right, tonight, Gail's going to be on the Nick DiPaolo show.
Yes, that is tonight. His show starts at 8 p.m. It's on Faction Talk, and we're going to be
What time are you getting there?
out. I'm going to be there at 9, I think.
Okay. I'm going to be on stage at the Stand tonight and tomorrow night. So, no Anthony. You fucking missed that. You missed that little piece of magic, that shooting star. What are you looking at now, Chris?
I just want to say, go to the.
Where are you going to be?
I'll be home. Probably.
Is that right? Your home or your chick's home?
I'll be in Brooklyn. I will be in Brooklyn.
At the ladies' home.
At the ladies' home, yeah.
You got to go over there and kill a chicken for her? What are you guys doing for dinner? His chicken's just so fresh.
Delicious. And also go to thestandnyc.com.
I've already told you I'm going there.
Okay.
I'm going to the Stand.
He doesn't have to get the tickets.
Who's there with me tonight, you know?
Dan Soder.
It's a big show already.
Wyatt Cenac.
He's brilliant.
Keith Robinson.
The best of all time.
Sean Patton.
Nice.
Great.
And Jim Florentine.
Wow.
Great show.
And Ron Bennington. And more.
Florentine was there last night. He's going like this. He meets somebody, goes like this. Where are you from? Long Island. I'm from Jersey. It's just like making small talk. Everything about Florentine kills me. He's so fucking funny. What, Chris, are you saying you're number one?
Let's say 1 minute left in the show.
Give me the upset special of the weekend, Chris Stanley.
Oh, my God.
Who's going to win big? Somebody winning big on the road. I want
road dog?
to take the fucking points.
You want to take some points? Oh, okay. Take the Jets at plus 13.5 because that line is inflated. They will get some garbage time touchdowns. Take the Jets plus 13.5.
All right, I'm going to put a G note down on it, so
Drop a
don't
G-bo.
get me in any fucking carton trouble.
Drop
right?
a G-stack.
Don't make me start fucking faking selling tickets.
There's another giant line, too, I think everyone should take. I got to look it up.
The Giants?
Vito, you got a pick for the weekend? I'm going to make everybody take a pick. Who you picking?
Eagles.
Taking the Eagles? They're on the road against Andy Reid.
I know.
And his Chiefs.
It's plus 6. Plus 6. Eagles are plus 6.
Getting 6?
They're getting 6 points. Eagles getting 6 points.
I kind of like that.
Oh, the 49ers are plus 14 against the Seahawks. Take the 49ers.
I don't know, man. I saw them last week. They were fucking terrible.
Not good, but take the 49ers. Plus 14?
You got to at least fucking pass in the right direction. Jen, what's your pick? Lock it up.
My dad's a big Jets fan, so I'm going with Jets.
All
right, here we go.
Jed, take the Jets plus 13.5.
Maybe I want to switch.
Oh, come on! We're going to make so much.
Me this motherfucker. We never see her.
Love.
We
Love.
We're sending love.
We got to get the hell out of hell. Have a great weekend, everybody. Come out to the Stand if you want to. Listen to Nick DiPaolo and Gail Bennington tonight. From what I understand, that may be the hot new show that spins off. And then we'll see you all again in 1974.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good evening!